Amun. So the reason why I decided to do this as I was pulling up supplication 25, I saw the part where it talked about the disagreeable reptilians, children of Apep, and the children of the disagreeable reptilians. Now, some of you who've been watching the news, you see where was it the vice president or who was it that, if y'all can remember, put it in the chat, that said that the US has a hybrid alien human hybrid breeding program and put that out there. And he admitted to that. Human US admits human hybrid breeding program. See, now look at this. Now, the AI is saying the US government has not admitted to any human hybrid breeding program. This originates from unverified statements made by former US Representative Matt Gaetz, but right underneath what it said, space aliens are breeding with humans. Matt Gaetz reveals he was briefed on secret alien breeding. This is April 2nd, 2026. Alien disclosure just went mainstream. A whistleblower says the CIA is scanning DNA. They're scanning consumer DNA bases. They're searching for specific genetic markers to track down extraterrestrial bloodlines living secretly in the United States. We've got to look at that opposite. They've been had this blood for years. They're not looking for extraterrestrials. They're looking for descendants of Yahshua. They're looking for descendants of the Natiru. They want to identify which groups of people have that genetic marker of the ancient Egyptians. Then their thing is, okay, so what do we do? If we can't eliminate them, then we'll see if we can try and get them on our team and work for us. This is what they want to do. So we already know that that's a reality. So this is why I decided to do that. So this is supplication again, 23. So if you have the gold book, this is another one that you could say on a daily basis. And this brings me to the article that I had wanted. Oh, I thought I put this in here. Okay, there you are now. This brings me to the articles for today. Got some really good articles. Let me see where I want to start off with before I give everybody an update on the kidnapping and abduction and my children essentially prisoners of war. Let's see. I don't want to do this one yet. Just let me just pull up a couple of these articles. For those of you that's on Zoom, go ahead, put your questions in the chat. Those of you that are on Facebook Live, go right ahead, put your questions and comments on the chat. I take questions on Why to Talk the News Network. So don't think that this is not a lecture per se. This is also teaching. So if you have questions, go right ahead and ask your questions. Let's see, where did I put that? Oh, okay, there we go. 456. So I'm just going backwards here because I found some last minute um articles that just really they just shocked me. Okay, that's a good one. We'll save that one for later. 1053, 1046. Because the one I want to start off with this first before we 1031, before we get into the rest of the articles. This is the foundation of a lot of things being revealed. And where are we at here? 1026. 102. Now, just bear with me, everyone. This just encapsulates everything. Okay, there we go. 12:38, 12:35. I want to find the video of Gunplay's back for everyone who remembers that rapper Gunplay. And he's changed his whole look and everything. And he talks about the magic. And he made some sick revelations. And it all connects to why there's so much dishonor going on in this system, and how you're going to have to go outside of law, order, and all that stuff to get the remedy that you want. 9/21, July 30th. Okay. That's a good one. Let me scroll up and see if. Okay, so that means it's got to be one of these ones. 7:30. Hold on a second. The rain stopped. Yes, it did. The devil stopped beating his wife. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to start off with this woman over here who was doing, okay, this woman here, the Women's Coalition. I want to get more information on it. Can everyone see the screen? Okay, here we go. So this is the order we're going to start with, and then we're going to get into a revelation, more proof that Nicole Tamara Nicholas has sold out to Baphomet. I need, again, her own words. Let me see. Okay, can everyone see this screen here with the woman? Okay, great. Okay, so I saw this earlier today, and I said this was fabulous. So I think this is in Oregon. 19-year-old sues family court officials for $250 million for taking her away from her mom, giving custody to father. Defendants include lawyers, social workers, evaluators, and GALs. That's ad litem. It's like the children's lawyer. The defendants conspired to deny Annalise access to the courts and intentionally inflicted emotional distress on Annalise while she was still a minor. Defendants knowingly interfered with Annalise's constitutional right to a relationship with her mother and 4 siblings, causing inordinate stress and difficulty. Are you under stress, Ambina? Are you stressed? Yes. Yes. You having difficulty with the situation going back and forth between here and then the shelter? I don't care. You don't care about the shelter? Yeah, I don't care about school. I don't care about daycare. You don't care about daycare? You want to be home with Ab? Okay. All right. Y'all heard it. Divi Ivavold, blogger at Red Herring Alert. Annalise Rice, a hockey player at the University of North Dakota and graduate of Minnetonka High School, filed a lawsuit on March 17, 2017 in Minnesota federal court seeking damages for deprivation of civil rights by tortuous intervention in a mother-child relationship and deprivation of rights under color of the law. Civil action number 17 CV 796 ADM HB. The defendants include court-appointed guardians ad litem, social workers, and lawyers who were involved in the custody evaluation, and CHIPS, Child in Need of Protection or Services, proceedings for Annalise Rice. Excuse me. Judges, lawyers, and social workers no longer have absolute immunity and can be held responsible for their actions that deprive constitutional rights, even if they are acting in an official role. This case is highly unusual due to the large amount of defendants involved. Annalise asked the court for relief in an amount great enough to deter defendants and others in similar positions from engaging in this egregious misconduct in the future. There have been many cases of negligence by social services that have put young lives at risk. Social workers, guardians ad litem, lawyers, and judges need to be held accountable. And I say we use a much more accurate word, liable. Liability, they understand. Oh, they need to be held to account. A count is a vampire. Vampires suck blood. So just meditate on account, unaccountable. To prevent further neglect, abuse, and deaths of children in protective care. This lawsuit could potentially turn into a class action suit because of the amount of families that have been mistreated in this way. Contact Annalise Rice at more.moxie@me.com. So the summary, Annalise's mom, Caroline, went from being a stay-at-home mom to losing custody of her 5 children. When the father decided he wanted to take the kids away from his ex, family court officials, led by Judge Richard Perkins, kicked into gear and made that happen. Full custody was awarded to the father, even though the children testified to horrible physical abuse by him. At one point, Annalise ran away from her father and fled to Canada with her mom. However, they were caught and Caroline was jailed. Caroline was jailed 3 times in her many attempts to protect her children, and she was tormented there in an effort to break and silence her. I deduce they're saying Canada. Judge Perkins presided over the prosecution of Caroline for quote-unquote abduction, which was a clear conflict of interest and at which she, not surprisingly, was convicted. But the appellate court actually overturned her conviction, citing Judge Perkins' biased handling of the case, including exclusion of evidence of the father's abuse from the jury. So they didn't allow that to be admissible, because if the jury heard that, it would have been a slam dunk against them. So there was some due process for Caroline at the appellate level, which is unusual. The children have spoken about the pain of losing their mother for many years. Coalition note, the sheer number of court-affiliated officials whom Annalise is suing spotlights the systemic coordination. Now, when I plug data into ChatGPT, into Gemini, they keep telling me, oh, there's no conspiracy, there's no coordination. Now, here we are looking at that. So now you're going to see that AIs now are going to start saying, oh, yeah, this is conspiracy, this is collusion, the court officials are working against you. You watch. So for families, mothers, fathers who are going through this, they're going to see it's going to change now. So the officials whom Annalise is suing spotlights the systemic coordination to empower fathers to take custody of their children, and that is not an exhaustive list. There are likely many more professionals who participated. Most cases in which a mother is trying to keep or protect her children involves many court affiliated professionals who go along with the agenda and help the father win custody, which is odd because usually they give it to the mother. So again, you got to find out what connection, what pre-existing contracts does the father have with those officials for them to do that. Whether he is abusive or just wants to avoid child support, it is unclear why Judge Richard Perkins is not included in the lawsuit, since the article asserts that judges can now be held accountable through these civil rights lawsuits, and especially since an appellate court found Judge Perkins to have been biased. It is also unclear who the judge is on Annalise's federal civil rights case. The docket states that it is Judge Ann Montgomery, but that it is referred to Judge Hildy Baubier. Hopefully, whoever it is will not dismiss the case and will make fair rulings. Answers to Annalise's complaint are due in June. Watch this space for updates. So this was published when? April 29th. So I have to follow up. So I will put this link here from Facebook onto here. And see, I always highlight other cases where, there's obvious collusion, RICO, or criminal organization involving public officials. The public officials are acting like overseers, but they publicly say we work for you, which is not the case. That's what they tell the public and then flip on them when they get into office. All right. So any questions on that, please go ahead and put it in the chat. Now, why am I, saying this? And here's the reason why. I got a picture here. Let's see if this is the video. Oh, no. Let's see. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. Oh, no, this isn't it. Ah, this is it. Okay. So hold on a second. I was just going to pull this picture up. This is a resolution council meeting that I had. I did not agree to it. I was forced to have to go to resolution council, and this is Justice Krause. I don't care. Justice I don't care Krause. Edmonton Law Courts Court of King's Bench. And these are the revelations. So myself as being a whistleblower, having a constitutional right with the Canada Constitution, the 1537 Supplements Deals, the Canada Charter of Rights and Freedoms, I'm making this public for the world to know how Nicole lies to the public. However, when she's in administrative settings, she tells the truth. So I want people to be able to recognize that pattern, not just for her, but people like her. And so, let me go to my email and I'll pull the picture up. And this picture here is the Resolution Council. Yeah, this is it here. Hold on, let me get the picture up. And this is what was discussed. Okay, there we go. This is the fraud video. Okay, so these are the people. This is part of the people, just like how, make sure everyone can see this picture. Okay, so as you see, this is Annalise. Now we're switching over here. So these are the people. The woman here on the left, this is Michelle Padierny. She's King's counsel. So she's counsel for the king, quote unquote. And she was the one who was doing the resolution council. And everyone who's been following knows this is, Michael Clayton, aka Kevin Livingstone. And we see the connection between Edmonton and Livingstone Castle in the United Kingdom. So the Livingstones go back to England. And of course, the big criminal right here for the whole planet to see with the fake dreadlocks. And she used to be pissed. She said, I can't stand when black women wear their hair with blonde wigs because that's like they're trying to be them, like these they're trying to be an Amorite, and here she is doing the exact same thing. So this was what happened December 16th. So I'm going to play the audio while y'all watch the video. This now everybody will get to hear words coming out, contradictions, lies, fraud, and how this Queen's Council, what's his name? Justice I don't care Krause and Kevin Michael Clayton Livingstone all work together along with Nicole to keep my children from me. Now you all, when you hear it, we're going to go and I want to hear feedback from everybody who's listening to this. So give me 1 second here while I get my pointer back. All right, so I'm going to play it now.
Speak with Tim Pecos, the principal. He went to see if there was
Now, Mr. Payco said, when I told him Nicole was driving my Mazda with no registration and no insurance on September 4th and 5th, he said that has nothing to do with us. Yet Nicole just admit to you all she was still talking to him. Now, this is after the emergency protection order was lifted by Justice McGuire on September 20, oh, pardon me, October 31st, which happens to be our son's coming forth by day.
So they are at Norwood, and the question...
They weren't supposed to be at Norwood. The school of record was Abbott Elementary. I'll show that email later.
There's what is the issue with Norwood?
The issue is it doesn't follow the order from Justice Krause. The school of record was Abbott Elementary. You did not satisfy the endorsement for November 28th. It was due on the 28th, and it wasn't, and it didn't come from your council, and it came from the principal and from you. The order specifically says the letter for me to confirm to me my children were going to Abbott must come through your council. It's on the endorsement of November 24th. So when stuff like that happens, you've missed the deadline. So since you've missed the deadline, you've breached the order. So you haven't fulfilled the requirements of the order.
But here's the thing, and I will jump in here. I'm not going to disagree that obviously co-parenting works better if parties trust each other and believe that the other party is going to follow through on what they say and what they promise to do. But there is no mandated fair dealing principle that applies in family law. The only test, sir, I know what you're talking about.
Good.
But that is contract law. It doesn't relate to family law.
What is a contract? You're a counsel. Please explain to me so I'm not assuming anything. What is a contract?
Well, it is an agreement between two people, most often for some kind of service or some type of consideration, in return for some type of consideration. I'm not a contract lawyer.
But we're here in resolution council to come to an agreement, correct?
You know what? Well, in fact, it's not going to be a contract. It's going to be an order of the court if it's going to be anything. So, we're not here to reach a contract.
No, I said I didn't say that. I said we're here to reach an agreement on parenting, correct?
Well, hopefully.
Oh, good. I accept that for value and consideration. I accept your answer.
Intended. And I believe what the law is.
Yeah, that is a bit more than what I can afford, especially since my housing situation hopefully is going to change here soon. I certainly wouldn't be able to afford that.
Okay. Are you both working currently?
I'm self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what, maybe Mr. Livingstone, understanding that the focus of this is not child support, but I'll explain to the parties in a moment why I'm asking these questions, but do you have any current indication of what the parties' incomes are, or is that haven't got that far down the road yet?
Disclosure has not been exchanged. My understanding is last year Mr. Hale's income was somewhere around $120,000. And Mom right now, I understand, is on Alberta Works.
The going rate for Alberta Works is, but that usually equates to about $20,000 per year, Mr. Livingstone. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's...
Not that much. I get $924 a month now.
$924 a month,
So for those that are not familiar, and I always encourage Autochtons that I teach to learn to convert, different figures, measurements, etc. It's at your fingertips with Google. So on the subject of me making 120,000, jokes on them. All that money went to whose account? Whose account did that go to? You all Autochtons know who y'all were sending it to. Who were y'all sending it to? Whose account? I didn't have no bank account. Put it in the chat. I'll read the comments. I'll speak the comments. Same for those that's on Facebook. This is why Nicole has not filed for custody of the children, because there will be mandatory what? Financial disclosure. And then they will see, oh, all the bank records are through her bank account. So we already know what will happen. A judge sees that, says, oh, you got the money, not him? Oh, well, you're going to have to pay him child support. Also, who filed for custody of the children? I did. So this is why I'm laughing at these fools who I trained, told them they were white, taught them, and then turned on me, betrayed me in New Jersey, in Ghana, in Alabama, and other parts elsewhere, North Carolina. I'm laughing at you dummies, because now you're hearing her say $968 is $731 US per month is what she is getting. So I said, no, you want this? You're going to pay for half of the tuition at Tevi Miller. Now she's telling, now pay attention. She just said she can't afford $175 because, so that meant she was getting more, and then they chopped it down to $968. That, now this whole conversation is as of December 16, 2025. They have cut back AISH, what's the other one? AISH and ADAP and Alberta Works. So the funds that people who are on public assistance would get have been slashed and have been reduced to as much as 20%. So that means Nicole is getting even less than that. We know because all we got to do is look at her left elbow and we see that bandage there. She's going over to the Spanish company called Grifols. They're based in Spain, but they take blood plasma. So Nicole is selling her blood plasma. Oh, for those of you who didn't know that, she's selling her blood plasma to Grifols to get money. The way it works is you can only, maximum you can go in is 2 times a week, but it's a graded system. So you go in, you get a certain amount. You go in the second time, it increases. You go in the third time, it increases more. And then by the time you hit your 5 or 6 weeks, then you've hit your cap. Then you start back again and got to start back at 0 and build yourself back up over another 5 to 6 weeks. Now, I've contacted Grifols in Edmonton and in Ontario saying she's a fugitive, that you guys are taking blood plasma from someone who has an order of commitment in the state of New York. They haven't said anything. They went forward. No problem. This is why Deuteronomy chapter 20 verses 7 to 8, 4 to 5 is so telling. So now that, because I'm going to be doing this, we just got a few more minutes, but I want to put all the missing pieces. So if people have any other questions, they'll see where I put different points so they can connect the dots. So now she's saying she can't afford to contribute $175. She's not working. She's on Alberta Works, like welfare.
I have a count per year, Mr. Livingstone. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's
Not that much. I get $924 a month now.
$924 a month. So I have a calculator here. 54 times.
So the agreement is made today is turned into a court order.
Yeah, and I think that the parent that has the child is the one that the schools will accept the enrollment from. So that's what Tim Payco said, the principal at Kihiwan. They wouldn't accept Mr. Ale trying to enroll the children since they weren't with him. So he has the court order and the person who the children.
No one's talking about how and why the children were taken out of school on September 12th, 2025 and ended up in Calgary because she didn't have a car. So how did she get there? Why was she allowed to be there? Why did the shelters allow Nicole to break the family law where it says you have to give 60 days notice? Everyone who's in contact with my children, Nicole has to notify them that she wants to relocate. But before you can do that, you have to fill out a federal form. file it, serve me, I'll file obviously an objection, and then we both go in front of the court and the judge would make a determination on allowing her to relocate. I'll fill that in case people are wondering, well, why did they do that? Because they knew once she didn't have the car, I could go up to the school, take Uteti, take Empress, bring them home. And then the police would tell Nicole, well, if you want them, you're going to have to go file civilly. But in the meantime, the children I could have brought them back home. That's why they had to get her out of Edmonton. Told you, Edmonton, y'all cursed. Told you, you got it.
Yes. And enroll the children since they weren't with him. So yes, a court order and the person who the children. Yes.
I still have concerns as to when you brought up relocation. Miss Nicholas did not have leave to be in Calgary then.
Okay, well, she's not in Calgary anymore, I think. And Ms. Nicholas...
Her car's registered in Calgary. Correct?
Well, Ms. Nicholas, and I guess maybe that's a good question to ask, because that was one of the things, a mobility application. Are you in Edmonton now? Are you planning a relocation at some point, or are you now, for the time being at least, remaining in Edmonton?
Yes, I'm in Edmonton. I've been in Edmonton since October 30th. Mr. Livingstone told Mr. Hale that. I've been back since October 30th. I plan to reside here until the court's determined guardianship, mobility, decision making, all of those things. I will be in Edmonton. I did purchase my car in Calgary and it's registered in Calgary.
And I guess
So you purchased a car in Calgary. You've been on Alberta work since August. Where did you get the money to purchase the car? Does everyone see how she just told on herself? You can't afford to kick out $175. Now, this is December 2025. March of 2026, this March, on the Gregorian calendar, she emails the principal at Tevi Miller, our daughter's former school, informing her she will pay tuition not only for Sambina, but also for Uteti. The tuition is $3,200 Canadian. It's probably about $2,000 US for the year. So she said, if he doesn't, I'll pay all of it. And sent that to me via email. We have Autochthons who have a copy of that email. So you can't afford $175 for her tuition. Where did you get the money to get a car? You registered the car on October 16th, 2025, the day after Justice Kiss said you cannot do that. You can't take the children to Calgary. You don't have leave. You don't have a court order. The children live in Edmonton. This is all on the record. All I got to do is get the transcripts. Once I get the transcripts and everybody sees that, then we're like, what? The judge is looking at what's false. The children live in Edmonton. Where do you live? I live in Calgary. How did she get to Calgary for September 4th to September 6th? Then for September 6th to October 15th, she's living in a shelter in Calgary. The following day, she gets a car. How is she getting a car when she just said in December, this recording is as of December 16th, that she can't afford $175, got my car, and I registered my car. In order to register a car, we all know, what do you have to have first? Insurance. So where did she get the money for insurance? In her case, is going to be at least $200, maybe more per month. Is everybody seeing this? So that's why when whoever sees the replay, we're going to have the video of it. I wanted to give it to the white Autochtons in the world first. Then I'm going to whittle it down to everyone could just hear it. This is what was talked about. So Nicole just confessed somebody is financing her. But the 1 minute, I can't afford it. Next minute, yeah, I got my car. It was registered in Calgary. Well, you have to have insurance and you got to pay for gas. That's going to cost you, especially up here. to put this in perspective for autochthons and people on the other side of the planet, you need 4 liters of metric to equal 1 gallon, 1 US gallon. So currently the gas is like 1.58 Canadian per liter. So if we multiply that by 4 and call it 160 per gallon, is about $6.40 Canadian. And if you convert that, now that the Canadian dollar is becoming less, that's going to be about maybe $5.50 a gallon for gas. So just want everybody to be aware of that. So she's got to pay gas and insurance every month. Now the car she's talking about is the 2007 Chevrolet, not this Buick. This Buick came after I filed the lien, the PPSA lien on her. 2 weeks later, the car was gone. And then she got this Buick. Where is she getting it? Somebody's funding her. And she just admitted to that in front of everybody.
Yes, it just occurs to me now.
I will be in Edmonton. I did purchase my car in Calgary and it's registered in Calgary.
And I guess it just occurs to me now because because this is under the Family Law Act, we don't actually need to use the mandatory paragraphs in the way that they are intended.
So who gave the King's Council the authority to say we don't have to use that? Under what authority? What statute? What code? What's precedent? See how they're making stuff up?
Yes, on September 6th is when I left for Calgary, and Mr. L filed a parenting order October 6th, and we were in court October 15th, and that's when I learned that even going to Calgary was somehow wrong.
See how she wants to it was somehow wrong? Yes, it was wrong. You have to give 60 days notice. And if you want to relocate, you got to fill out that federal form. It's online. If you don't fill it out and you take off to another city, the EPO protection order is for Edmonton. What are you doing going to Calgary? That's out of jurisdiction. That's here. You're supposed to do it. Because I took back my car. That's why. And they knew I could take the children and there would be nothing they could do about it. And that I could give the school instructions, no, do not release the children to Nicole. That would have ended it. Now Alberta, Edmonton, and Canada have the curse on them.
So I came back by October 30th. And I certainly won't be leaving as per Justice Giss's instruction.
But you told the police in Calgary you're not going back to Edmonton. Everybody remembers that video, that confession. She said, I'm not going back to Edmonton. As for Justice Giss's order. You wasn't following no orders anyway. So the handlers at EPS, CPS, the shelters told her, you got to go back to Edmonton because if you don't, it's kidnapping. And then I want to know who helped her. It was the same women's shelters. So they forced her to go back. Somehow that was wrong. She knew this from October 15th.
I don't trust them.
Well, I had to
Nicole nor her counsel. So I don't trust them. Just the children back. Didn't hear nothing from Nicole nor her counsel. So I don't trust them.
Well, I have to reiterate that Mr. Ale coming to Abbott and conducting himself the way he did with staff got me kicked out of the shelter. He compromised the program. It was a safety risk for me and the children to stay there, and they removed me from the shelter and put me somewhere else. And now I'm at the school where it's walking distance, 5-8 minutes walk, and this is where I am for right now. And it's a really good school.
This isn't my fault. It is yours. You left. You took the children
There's no
out of
fault.
school.
It's
She
your
just
choice.
said,
Ale.
I didn't hear you
Mr.
interject.
Ale.
She just said it's my fault that you got kicked. It's not my fault. You took
It's
the children
nobody's
to
fault.
Calgary.
Excuse me. Can I jump in? As far as the court is concerned, it's nobody's fault.
You want which juice? Oh, you like the juice I put together? Where is it? You want that juice? Or you like that juice? Hold on a second, everybody.
You forgot to clean that up.
Oh, I did?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did it. Okay. Where is it? Where's my thermos?
This.
Oh, no, I didn't do that.
Actually,
Oh, I can't find it. Here, I can't find it. Hold on. I cannot find it. Here. The pomegranate juice. It's fun. Right? Yeah, hold on. Are you listening? Okay. Here's lemon juice. Okay, no, that's pomegranate juice. Okay, try that. All right. So, as I was saying, yep, we'll get one. As I was saying, let's play that section back again.
Said it's my fault that you got kicked. It's not my fault. You took
It's
the children
nobody's
to
fault.
Calgary.
Excuse me. Can I jump in? As far as the court is concerned, it's nobody's fault. Your
How can she say as far as the court is concerned? She is a king's counsel. She's an attorney. How can she speak for the court? She's acting like as far as the court is concerned. She wasn't even there, but we'll continue.
relationship broke down for
It's
whatever.
not my fault. You took
It's
the children
nobody's
to
fault.
Calgary.
Excuse me. Can I jump in? As far as the court is concerned, it's nobody's fault. Your relationship broke down. For whatever reasons, it broke down.
Canada Child Tax
Nobody
Credit. That's why
is
it broke
required.
down. Because you wanted the Canada Child Tax
Okay,
Credit.
again.
That's why it broke down.
I don't. This is a no-fault system. Okay? The court.
I don't understand what they mean by no fault. Okay, swallow. I don't understand why they. What do you mean? This is a no fault system. This woman's been calling, blaming me, but now all of a sudden it's a no fault system. Again, this time frame is December 16th, 2025. This is 8 days after she lost her wallet at Canadian Tire. For those of you who remember when she lost her wallet and I gave it back to her. So that meant she would have drove with the children in that van, the 2007 white Chevrolet or pale Chevrolet, and wouldn't have told nobody that she lost her wallet. Or if I was more inclined that was some kind of EPS slash RCMP slash CSIS sting to say lose it here. Don't have these other guys act like, oh, we found it and we're bringing it home, to put her wallet in my hand for me to keep it and then say, oh, well, you knew you had her wallet, you should have told her. I gave it back to her. Is on Facebook, and Facebook is my third party witness. So why is this woman been allowed to break the law? Because they are working to protect her. This is why you say these judges, these court clerks, attorneys, lawyers, gals, ad litem, children representatives, they're all working together. And whichever parent they do not like, that's the one they gang up on.
Credit.
Again.
That's why it broke down.
I don't. This is no fault. Nobody
That's why
is
it broke down.
required.
Because you wanted the Canada Child Tax
Okay,
Credit.
again.
That's why it broke down.
I don't. This is a no-fault system. Okay? The court, I guess it's too blunt to say, doesn't care. And there
I
are
know that. That's what
aspects
Justice
of a
Krause
breakdown
told me.
of
He told me that
relationship.
already. He didn't care. So you're not saying nothing new to me.
No. I don't know what Justice Krause said.
I'm telling you what he said. Kevin was there.
Okay.
He knows. He said, I don't care. That's what he said on the record.
Okay. The context in which I am using this is the law. And Nobody is required to stay in a marriage or a relationship that they don't feel safe in or that they simply don't want anymore. It's not even that there needs to be a reason.
Do you all hear what this woman, take a good look at her face, do you all realize what she just admitted to? So everybody, if you don't get it, please put it in the chat. Let me go through some of these comments first. Marshawn at 7:15 p.m. Greetings, Chief. That would be 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. I was going through my Autochthonist News Now page on my Facebook and viewed an article about Jewish ritual murders and how the rabbis needs the organs to sell for over $100,000. Could this be why we were targeted in the kidnapping of our 3 indigenous children? Yes, they're getting black people kidnapped. That is for that reason. Who the best organs are nigger organs. Those are the best organs to get. You're the descendants of the original. That's who they're targeting. They'll get the other knickknacks and all that other stuff, but they think about this. They have this broken down to a science. So they know some children they're going to traffic, some are specifically for organs because they know there's more dark skin than anything on the planet. Then they got other ones that will facilitate to get or use them to lure other children to get kidnapped. They have it all figured out. Don't think this is disorganized. The best thing you all can look at child traffickers, they need police officers, they need judges, they need special forces, FBI. They need these professional people in order for this to manifest. When you watch videos at the ports of the crane operators moving the containers from either off a ship or onto a ship, and you're hearing all this screaming going on as they're lifting the cargo containers on or off a ship, those are people in there. We saw one video where everybody was in the cargo container. They were naked. They had no clothes on and closed the cargo container on it. This stuff is real. The book I had, The Coming of 10 by Riley Martin, he talked about the Greys, or not the Greys, but I'll call them the Tanites from the planet of Tan, the race of Tan. They've been watching and observing this planet for years. They've known that there's been child trafficking going on. Alex Collier talked about this way back in the 80s, and it wasn't until 2017 when I started watching all his old videos. And he's like, yeah, the deal is every public official, every politician, the big boys, not your little municipals, but I could be wrong about that too, but the big ones that we see, prime ministers, presidents, they have deals with the reptilians. That's why when you look at those statues from Norway showing a reptilian with its tail wrapped around a woman and biting her on the neck, they're like, what the hell is this? What's going on? This has been going on from since the humans stumbled across those particular reptilians, because you got 70 different species of reptilians. Or was it 13? 13 species of reptilians, 70 different species of grays. So it's a big world out there. Some grays are mixed with, have gray and reptilian. You have some that are just straight gray, some that are peaceful, some that are aggressive. It all depends. So that's the world that we have to become accustomed to, that this is the reason for all this disclosure. Because the moment this happens, the first thing that's going to seize up is commerce. Because people are going to want to know, how am I going to go forward? How are we going to proceed? And then who knows? The people you married to might be a damn reptilian that just shapeshifted and projected a image that you thought they were human. Then when everything comes forward, now you're going to see this, what I say, we want to see scales and tails. I want to know what I'm working with. Don't lie to me and give me a human image, but you're actually reptilian. Or if you watch TV and you see sometimes the newscasters, their teeth will change and get pointed, or like the was it the Argentinian president? His voice changed. He had that double voice and scared. This is what's going on. And the reptilians can walk in front of a whole group of humans and project into their mind you're seeing a human. And that's what they see. So according to new information, said they're not shape-shifting. What they're doing is implanting an image and telling you in your brain that you're seeing a human when in fact they're reptilian. So that's better than a chameleon. A chameleon can change its color in front of you. They're getting into your mind and projecting that. And this is what Don Juan told Carlos Castaneda about them giving their brain to us, the reptilian brain, which is at the base of the neck, between the neck and the your backbone there. So they can tie into that, send that, get into your limbic system, get into your nervous system, and project an image in your brain. You think you're looking at a human, whole time it's a damn ogre. And if you want a good example, what was that movie? There's something about Mary David Spade's movie. He fell in love with this woman that was super overweight, and he thought she was a damn fox. So that'll give you an idea that that's capable. So yeah, that's correct, Marshawn. That's why black has no standing at law. And black people are not going to get no help from none of these black elites. Their job is to keep the people who are not in that black boule where they're at. That also includes the Latinos. That also includes the Orientals. Anytime they're in those what do you call it? Secret societies or those fraternities, that's what their job is. They'll suppress their own families, so that don't mean anything. But getting back to my point, what Michelle Paderni just did is she basically admitted that, oh, they could walk away anytime. So getting married in a church where I swear, till death do us part, and now she's saying they could leave at any time. She just nullified. That means all the lawyers know marriage is bullshit. If you go through the state, it's BS. If the people honor it, that's them exercising their autochthonousness, their organicness, being honorable to the universe, to be committed to each other. But as far as the court's concerned, oh, she don't even have to have an excuse. She can walk away. So now all these women's liberals, these feminists who are married, most of them are married, what do they have to say now? That means it's a game. They are sabotaging the single women looking to get married by telling them, oh, you don't need no man, this, that, the next. Now you find out, oh, she can walk away. So why would a man want to get married when a woman could walk away and then grab him for child support? She just revealed the scam. Mind you, it's Canada, but we already know they're doing the same thing in the States. Edom Duba, she speaks on contract, and she says, then she is not informed on contract process. Fairty, Nicole T. Nicholas was collecting the funds. Marshawn, it was Nicole's account. Yes, that's why she won't file for custody of the children, because once they come to her, say, I don't have those records. She does. What? Said the money was going in her account. That's her. She the baller. She got the bag. Y'all got to talk to her and get the bank records, her Chase, U.S. Chase account. You got to get them from her and get it from Chase account. Not me. Nicole Tamara Nicholas was collecting the funds. Yes. Edom Duba, Nicole Nicholas received funds from me. Yes. Yuhu Nicole, the kidnapper Nicholas, is who I sent my donations to. Edom Duba, assisted by the cartel. Tua, Yuhu police handler smuggled her and the children to Calgary. Tua, Edom Duba, Dog and Pony Show. Tua, Yuhu Michelle froze. Crickets when you said the car's registered in Calgary. She couldn't say nothing. You have to know the truth in order to conceal it. Fairty, the courts thought they would have been over within the case, but the fraud and trafficking in human cargo were being exposed in real time. Tua, Marshawn, Tua, much appreciated. Accountable, Brazilian, that was the Brazilian president, Tau Hat. Accountable, scared the crap out of a blonde woman in the front row. She stood up and was about to dip. Yeah. Two accountable. Anacona, shallow how. Marshawn, that's another level of the Matrix with the reptiles being able to put images in your head. Accountable. She left because she was mad she could not collect that child tax credit. Correct. Marshawn, so what happened to the marriage contract between the man the woman and the state. It's still there, Marshawn. What it is that she just confessed. They don't give full disclosure to the man. The woman can leave. She don't have to have an excuse. That means she could cheat. And depending if you get an honorable judge, okay, you'll get justice. If it's a dishonorable judge, he gonna let her cheat, get knocked up. It'll be some other man's child, and then the judge will still order you got to pay that child support, even if you didn't sign the birth registry. Do y'all see the level of corruption going on here? So this is why I'm releasing this, and we'll be releasing it into 7. It's like 9 minutes, or what have you, 9 minutes 30 seconds. The whole conversation was about 2 hours for this resolution council. I whittled it down to the most important points, which you all are hearing and hearing the contradictions. So when people hear this, they're going to say, yeah, this is a child trafficking ring. Then I find out the judges get money for each one of these cases. It gets put into a trust, which they get when they retire. So when Alex Collier said the deal that the world leaders made with the reptilians was, they said they will not come up from in the center of the earth or from in the caverns. They will not come up, annihilate, wipe out everybody in exchange for them sending bodies down there, sacrificing to them. So this is where we said Moloch. So whether you use Moloch from a magical sense, right, from the Bible, or whether you say reptilians from the real world, for lack of a better word, the actual, this is what's going on. Either way you slice it, the politicians sold out their own humans, for lack of a better word. The Neanderthals, in the proper syntax, have sold out humanity because Neanderthals are not humans. So they sold them out for the purpose of having fame, fortune, money, etc. So the marriage contract, Marshawn, she just confirmed. The woman can walk away. She don't have to have an excuse. She don't have to have a reason. She could just say, wake up, I don't want to do this anymore. So what was all of this about the man getting on bending his knee, giving her a ring, putting a ring on it, and then she just wakes up one morning and says, I don't want to do this. That doesn't put a man in a peaceful situation, because now he's under a false sense of security. At any time that woman could walk away, and who will validate that? The state, because if they have children, right, which we'll get into in a second, the children, the contract with the children, if it's a marriage, it was the man, the woman, and the state. That's the 3 parties. The state will take the side. With children involved, which are considered issues, now because the mother is the informant, the state will protect her. Problem with Nicole is we did a spiritual contract first. Got married at the Matart Conservatory, which is flooded now because of the rain from last Saturday. They said they're only going to be open 3 days out the week. The road to get to the Matart Conservatory was flooded up till Wednesday. You couldn't even go out that road. You have all fake fraud. Marshawn, that's some real BS. Yeah, at the hedge fund. It's BS. However, it comes back to what I said before. I'm giving you all the fact that when it comes to the matters of intimacy, as far as Western women predominantly, because I don't even want to paint all of them with that brush. I'm like, because I know there's agreeable women out there. I'm saying, if you don't know, you got to ensure yourself from an intimate level. I made sacrifices for the nation. That's why I wasn't concerned with doing a prenuptial, because I was like, you fuck me over. We talking spirit realm. We doing every Sunday before I drop the children off. We open the gates to Papa Legba. We give offerings to the Orishas, to Obatala, to Shango, and then we give offerings to the Natiru. And then the children know to break the vive and put the cornmeal on their third eye. My children are already attuned. They were baptized with fire. So when this hits Molech, which it probably already has, it's like, listen, you don't stop your people, quote unquote, God gets to come in and pimp smack everybody. So just like in the movie, watch the movie, The Devil's Advocate. If you've never seen that movie with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, the devil said, I forget who the guy was, some fat guy who was who was working with the devil. And the devil said, I can't protect him anymore. He said, I've tried in the past. He said, that's it. I can't do it. So when the devil says, I cannot protect you anymore, I've, done things, he knows what's going to happen. The G-D, Yahuwah, El Elo, who is going to step in, reveal his face, and smack everybody. So he's like, nah, I got to get rid of this guy, which he did broad daylight, which was interesting. So that's the problem. So men have to, if they really looking for intimacy, it's all contract now. As far as Western women are concerned, I wouldn't say the same, and I stand to be corrected for, let's say, Central America or South America, but definitely United States and Canada. Oh, you got to put these women on a contract. That's what Neo, the R&B singer, did. That's why he got 4 wives. They're all on contract. He was married for 10 years, had children, went through a messy divorce. Now he said with the women he has and the contract, he said he is the happiest he has ever been in his life. And he got 4 women. And if he wants to add more, he can. And they're all on what? Contract. So the precedent for women in the West has been set. men are marrying informants. Yes, they are. However, Nicole's situation is different because we had spiritual agreements. We did rituals. For anybody who knows, you meet somebody and you want to get the magic involved, or somebody, people want to get together, you tell, hey, y'all put a sheet over the table and you light 2 candles and y'all face each other and talk, look into each other's eyes and talk. So you talking into the person to know what you're getting involved in. That's one of the many things that you do. So everything I did was with Atsakata under the jurisdiction of Atsakata. She breached that. And so that's why Edmonton, they said with the flooding, it's costing them $30 million. So that's about 20 million US for cleanup, fixing, and it rained earlier. Today is the Water Lantern Festival. However, they said there's going to be a thunderstorm, and I didn't want to go out there with the children. And where that is, there's so many people come. You got to park, take you about 20 minutes to walk from where you park the car to get to the event. So I said, I don't want to go down there. We do that, but then we got to rush. And then in the process, it rains on us. Then we'll be walking in the water for 20 minutes. I said, nah. So I said, we'll wait and see. I said, worst case scenario, we do it right here at the house. Do our own little water lantern. The pool got water in it. So I got some small votive candles and we can light them and put it in the pool. I do the same thing. So let's continue on.
If you don't want to be in the relationship, you are free to leave.
Now that contradicts where people go and get married with a priest. The woman and the man take a vow in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, till death do us part, that they're not going to separate. She just violated by saying they don't have to. So when they hear this, the priests better speak up and say something, because that means the priest in the Catholic Church, the Pentecostal, the Lutheran, whatever, are validating fraud, which means the priests know, whether they do it or a judge does it as a justice of the peace, that the marriage contract in the West is fraud. And she just let the secret out. The women could leave, or anybody can leave at any time they want. They don't have to have a reason. That contradicts even going in front of an altar with a priest in the first place. So let's play it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
The context in which I am using this is the law. And nobody is required to stay in a marriage or a relationship that they don't feel safe in, or that they simply don't want anymore. It's not even that there needs to be a reason. If you don't want to be in the relationship,
Doesn't that contradict for people who went in front of a priest, rabbi, imam? And if that's and let's accept what she's saying because she's a king's counsel that's hired in a regular attorney. That means she just told the truth that people getting married and all, it's a bunch of BS. That's what it means. It's all BS. It's fraud. But the priests don't care because they're expecting those people to come to church every Sunday to give their funds. Can you wait, Miss Empress?
I need pink chips.
You need pink chips? We'll go get the pink chips. Y'all was getting into that candy. You didn't ask me about getting into candy. Y'all got that candy without me. I need pink chips. Can you reach them? If you can't reach the pink chips, I'll get them for you. Can you reach it? Okay, so you can't reach it. Oh, you got it. Come on, keep going. Yeah, afternoon, you did it. Okay, put some in the bowl there on the table. That one right there. Nothing. Off your hand, Suta. Hand. In that bowl over there. Put some in the bowl, and then you could take that down. Yeah, no. Leave the bowl there. Put some in that bowl. Ma'un wa khustat kar uteti. Tahom? So is everybody getting what I'm saying? She just confirmed that marriage is BS from a legal standpoint. So that means all these priests are marrying people, and the people think, well, under God and the priest, and he sanctified it. And she said, no, that nobody has to. They can leave anytime they want. She just told the secret. So that means what do you have to have? You have to have at the very minimum prenuptial contract. Or if you pass that, everything's going good, great. If you feel that way and you want something, then you got to discuss, hey, we got to put in case, because that means either party could wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to do this, and quit. Yet, if they say they're religious, it says they don't want that. Like the Catholic Church is against divorce. They're not with divorce. So she told a major secret. She just nullified marriage. She ain't give no statute. She ain't give no law. She ain't give no precedent. She just said, let me play it one more time.
Okay. The context in which I am using this is the law. And nobody is required to stay in a marriage or a relationship that they don't feel safe in or that they simply don't want anymore. It's not even that there needs to be a reason.
This is madness. Is this or is this not madness? So you can see why they like to do these things quietly. They don't want the public to know. So by the time they are going into court, fighting back and forth, the lawyers, the judges, the counsels, the barristers, the solicitors, they already know marriage is bullshit. So they're just going to let the man or the woman pay all this money fighting, and they get in a cut, and then the bond, the investment, the case number, that goes into a fund that the judges will get when they go into retirement. So it's a fucking scam. That's what I told you. What's love got to do with it? Where is their relationship means to relate to? What? There's nothing in there about commitment. That's what you want. Commitment, loyalty, and honor.
If you don't want to be in the relationship, you are free to leave.
What law says they're free to leave? Notice she didn't give a statute. She didn't give a court precedent. She didn't give any law. She just said it. So is it true, or is she making it up for the conversation we're having? It will come out.
The court is not as concerned about the contempt itself as the why behind the contempt, and then trying to fix that instead of just strictly rectifying the contempt. Because at this point, like, let's take the example of the letter. Yep, I'm going to be the first one to say, as far as what the endorsement was, Ms. Nicholas was in contempt of that endorsement by not having you the letter by December 1st, or sorry, by November 28th. It was dated December 1st.
Pardon?
Yeah, so...
No, I didn't hear what Kevin said.
There's no agreement on changing where Majesty
So, is everybody hearing what she just confessed? Nicole is in non-compliance. And then earlier on, you heard Nicole say, well, they're at Norwood now, and it's a good school. Why did you register the children at Pollard Elementary? I didn't go up to Norwood. I didn't flex on nobody at Norwood until February, which was after this, because the children had been moved from Abbott to Norwood, and then from Norwood to Pollard Meadows Elementary. So I can't trust what Nicole is saying. I can't trust what Michelle Padirny is saying, because Nicole said it was a good school. Why are they at Pollard Meadows if you guys said you were flexing saying, no, Abbott Elementary is where they're at and it's a good school, but then you move them again? So that's why I'm outing and exposing all these public officials. She can't do this by herself. They got to help her. That's why the curse is on Edmonton. They are getting it. They got it. Them, their children, their great-grandchildren, as long as this Edmonton exists, they getting it. Sinkholes are opening up. Earthquake in Vancouver the other day. Yes, I want Tamu, Nefu, and Set to come down on the city of Edmonton, the province of Alberta, and Canada, because they got a problem with Trump bringing in those 50% tariffs now. If he goes 100% tariffs, he'll knock Canada out in a week. Canada is done. It's finished. Just most Canadians, they're still in this flicking illusion that they have a country. You ain't got no country. It's a company, and the company is going to be absorbed by the United States of America. But technically, they're already under the 1778 Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union.
Pardon?
Yeah, so
No, I didn't hear what Kevin said.
There's no agreement on changing where Majesty lives today.
Yes, but she could if she wanted to. If she wanted to come up and drop them off right now, nothing you all could do to stop that.
well, no, but she doesn't want to.
Right? And you heard that was Kevin saying that's true. So if Nicole turned around and came one day and said, here, you have him. What? What's going? Nope, I don't want him anymore. I'm done, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing to court the judges. So what's that telling you? They're working with her. They're helping her to keep the children from me. And I've accepted that. That's why the curse is on them is real.
I think what Mr. Livingstone is saying is that that's not something she wants to do.
This is what I'm talking about, flexibility. I agree with you.
Yeah, I get that your
I don't
position,
trust
sir,
these
is that.
two. I don't trust these two.
Okay,
So
I
let's
get
get
it.
Would y'all trust Kevin Livingstone, Michelle, and Nicole? Would you trust them? Those on Facebook, go ahead, put that in the chat. I'm going to get to your statements and questions in a minute.
Let me just ask you a question, and then I think we're probably done here one way or the other.
Yes, Edmonton is done one way or the other. Edmonton Law Courts, you're done one way or the other. Any judge that touched this paperwork with Nicole, you're done one way or the other. Just like the Oracle told Neo, this war will be over one way or the other. Either it will be in your hands or Agent Smith's. Marshawn had okay. Marshawn, if that's the case, what the hell is the point of a marriage? If we break it down, we get the word mar-rage. Mar, because there's two R's there, and rage. So let's go to etymology. And then we're going to open up the other tab. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm seeing other parents, single mothers, single fathers who are being, taken advantage of and not given their due process, their rights. They're exposing all these public players. That's how you have to do it, because you're not going to get remedy in the courts. There's a bunch of pedophiles up in Edmonton Law Courts, which I told Justice Kidd, she ain't say nothing. We already know that. They need the courts to do the child trafficking. Spoonie, what? Ab's teaching. What's the problem?
Can we fix this?
Can you fix what? What did you break?
The mirror.
Oh, I'll fix the mirror in a second. You watch. What are you watching? Akili?
No, watching Leon Sarah.
No, shut that off. I told you, go play with your keyboard. Shut it off. And come upstairs and go play on your keyboard. I don't care. Shut the TV off and go play on your keyboard. I told you. Keely, Omoberry, Gracie. That's it. Off to her head. So let's see here. Then go have a nap. Okay, so let's go to Mar. Let's see, make sure everybody can see that. Turn the fan on. You just had a drink. I'll wait a second here. Let me delete this. All right, so see, I just heard thunder. I just heard some thunder. Yeah, it's coming swinging back again. So Mar, M-A-R, Mir. Come on now. More, Mar. Let's try with one R. Okay, Mar, verse. It's a verb, Middle English, marin, to deface, disfigure, impair in form or substance. Early 13th century from the Old English, merin, Anglian, merian, West Saxon, to waste, spoil. From the Proto-Germanic, Marsgen. Source also of Old Frisian, Meria, Old High German, Marin, to hinder, obstruct. So everybody, y'all with me? Y'all seeing this? Gothic, margin, to hinder, offend, from the past intermediate English root, mares, to trouble, confuse. There is a mortgage electronic registration system called MERS. It's a company out of the US that's supposed to be tracking mortgage notes. And that's the acronym for that company, MERS, to trouble and confuse. And 1 minute they can't track the note, next minute they are tracking it, but then they don't have the note. Source also of the Sanskrit mersyate, forgets, neglects. So that's mar, and then of course rage is 13th century. Madness, insanity, fit of frenzy, rashness, foolhardiness, intense or violent emotion, anger, wrath, fierceness in battle, violence. Isn't that what happens in a divorce? The shit turns into hat rocks and McCoys of storms, fire, etc. From the Old French, rage or rage, spirit, passion, rage, fury, madness. 11th century from the medieval Latin, rabbia, from the Latin rabies, madness, rage, fury, related to rabere, be mad or rave. So if we type in now marriage, action of entering into wedlock. Also, that's 1300. Also, state or condition of being husband and wife, matrimony, wedlock. So let's look at wedlock. Middle English, wedlock, institution of marriage, state or condition of being married. From Old English, wedlock, pledge giving, marriage vow. A noun suffix meaning actions or proceedings, practice. Suffix meaning actions or proceedings, practice. The element is attested in about a dozen Old English compounds such as Photlac, warfare. You sure you want to get mare and rage? So the meaning, state, or condition of being marriage is recorded from circa 1200 in wedlock, hence also out of wedlock, outside of the institution of marriage. So what's the etymology of institution? Circa 1400, it's a noun, action of establishing or founding a system of government, a religious order, etc. From the Old French institution, foundation, thing established, 12th century from the Latin institutionem, nominative institutio, a disposition, arrangement, instruction, education. Education means child rearing. Noun of state from institutus, see institute. Now this is the etymology. I'm saying that's what that is. Well, what was this here? Meaning established law or practice is from 1550. So now what's an institute? To establish an office, appoint. So what, if they call marriage an institution, who or what regulates that? And if there is no regulation, but the state, which is artificial, is regulating it, isn't that a problem? So the way to, people have been avoiding problems who haven't been divorced and everything, where it's gotten to that point, they're being honorable, because if they don't, then that's when the lion or the devil, like a lion, will look to devour both parties. Institute, noun from the 1510s. This one, institute, the verb, is 14th century. So marriage as an institution, because notice, you hear Adam and Eve were together, but you didn't hear anything about them having any kind of ceremony, do you? Nothing about that. It just said that was his woman. That was the end of it. Not all this pomp and ceremony and spending 100 grand and bridesmaids and flowers and cake and food. That's a show. That's a theater. Then when the stuff gets real, I'm not settling for less. So what makes you think you got every woman of the videos I've seen on the internet who thought they could go higher than the men that they were with has failed. Yeah, there's exceptions to that, but the majority, they got to go get some younger guy who ain't got no funds. So that means, why are you settling for a younger guy who doesn't make as much money as you do? Because you know that you've already been spent, used up, and you can't offer nothing that a young guy don't want children. And now the women who are single mothers, they're getting the heat. They're getting their asses handed to them. Because before, men would take that on, being honorable, looking at the bigger picture. The women ain't looking at the bigger picture. They look, I need a simp to help me with these children. So I'll make him think I'm in love with him, but reality, I'm just using him. Now, those men, as soon as they hear, oh, you got 5 kids, what the hell are you doing? Well, you knew I had kids. I said, yeah, but I'm taking you out. Yeah, but I got to have food for Tyrone, Tanisha, Zaquisha, Stacy. What? Yeah, can I get a to-go bag, please? Where is the feminists? Where are the women's libbers? At home with their husbands, making them food. That's where they're at. They ain't helping these single mothers with children. The single mothers with children should be asking the women's libbers, hey, help us out. Nope. Them heifers are at home with their family acting like they didn't even say nothing. Single women keep women single. So you women that are married, keep the fuck away from them single women unless, you know, they're babysitting your children or stuff of that nature, or you have some type of an arrangement. Other than that, and don't let them stay around your husband, because you know what she gonna do. We already know what she gonna do. Because misery loves what? Company. So now, let me go to Facebook, and then we're gonna get into, now we got this distraction out the way. We're gonna go to Facebook. Let me see. I'll see what I can get, because you all know what happens every time. I only see a limited amount of comments, and then when we're done, it's, 50, 60 comments. Yuhu all the mother Chuck and progeny descendants done. Yuhu Kevin said that's true. Yuhu the white way are Utha, 50, 60 comments. Agubana El Bravo Tua, Agubana Word, Guadalupe Rawat Maku. Can you explain? This is on Facebook. So for those that's on Facebook, put your question. If I don't see it till afterward, I got blocked. That's why I'm not seeing it. Rawat Maku, can you explain why not call you young ones children? What would be the etymology we need to use in law and commerce? When I look for the legal definition of children, it is a word of purchase. Sivan, Canlil, yeah, that's Canlil, blocked me from seeing the precedent-setting case. Yeah, that happened to me too. I can't see it. In the Canadian court and property law system, children functions as a word of purchase rather than a word of limitation. This means it is a technical legal term used in a deed, grant, or will to specifically designate the actual individuals who are to acquire and receive the property, rather than setting the size or duration of the estate being passed down. The core common law precedents, because Canadian common law is rooted in English property law, Canadian courts rely on two monumental English precedents to dictate how the word children is treated in deeds and wills. Wild's case of 1599. The legal rule, Wild's case 1599, Co-Rep 16b, is the primary authority establishing that children, quote unquote, is prima facie evidence, a word of purchase. The application, the court ruled that if property is left to A and his children, and A already has children alive at the time, okay, they couldn't fit the whole post. So here's what we're going to do, because I have that printed up here. So children is ordinarily a word of description, limited to persons standing in the same relation and has the same effect as if all the names were given. Rowley versus Curry. The words children, the words child or children in their usual sense are words of purchase. The case is Phillips versus Mercantile Trust Company of Baltimore. Kelly versus Kelly. Diener versus Watkins. They may, however, be used as words of limitation. Bonds versus Hutchison. So it's words of purchase. So I can't call them children anymore. So we're going to go back and make sure everyone can see the screen here. Good. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to go to now etymology offspring. Old English offspring is children or young collectively, descendants, literally those who spring off someone. So I got to call them offspring. They're not children. Children is a word of purchase. My children are secured parties. I made them secured parties. So that lien I have against Nicole, the children are secured parties against her on a PPS lien that's active. Let's see. Offspring, legal definition. And big ups to Michael John, who's given all those great articles on Facebook. Much appreciated for the syntax. Offspring is the children, grandchildren, and other descendants of every degree. Are children considered offspring? Offspring can occur after mating, artificial insemination, or as a result of cloning. Human offspring descendants are referred to as children. That's LexisNexis. Male children are sons and female children are daughters. See kinship. Can I use offspring instead of children? Offspring and brood can be used to refer to someone's children in a humorous way. Offspring can be a formal word used in legal context. These words are often used as the young of animals. I'm sure you relieve once your offspring grow up and leave home. What is another term for offspring? So progeny, not children, progeny and descendants. So if we say let's try progeny, see what we get with that. So no longer where we're using children, it's got to be progeny, offspring, or descendants. So early 14th century progeny is children, offspring of humans or animals. Late 14th century descent. Lineage, family, ancestry from Old French progeny. So let's see legal definition of progeny. In a legal context, progeny means direct descendants or a line of a subsequent court cases. Direct descendants refers to a person's children, grandchildren, or further bloodline. Often synonyms, often used interchangeably with the legal terms issue, because children are issue or offspring. Case law and precedent. Okay, where's the precedent? See how the AI don't get no damn precedent? Where's the precedent? Legal definition of progeny. In a legal context, the term also describes a line of subsequent cases or precedents. Is progeny the same as offspring? Offspring is a common direct word for a person's or animal's immediate young, while progeny is a more formal term that often emphasizes a whole group of descendants or lineage. So we could use progeny. So that's the word. So progeny, offspring, lineage. Lineage is another word. So let me make sure I switch the screen. Good. So when we go back to this here, so words of purchase. So what is a word of purchase? What does a word of purchase mean? What does a word of purchase mean? So we're clear on that. A word of purchase is a legal term in property law that identifies the specific person or persons who will receive an interest in property. That's why they say we are only doing what's in the best interests of the children, the word of purchase. That's why they don't care about their mental state. They don't care about the children. They're looking at the children as what? Corporations. How it works, naming the receiver, not about money. In legal terms, purchase means any way of getting property other than by automatic inheritance or family descent. That includes a court order, even if the property is given away as a free gift. So word of purchase tell you who gets the property. Word of limitation tell you how long or what type of estate they get, such as for life. Classic examples: in a gift of land to John for life. The phrase to John is the word of purchase. And for life is the word of limitation. So we're clear now. A commitment ship is what has to be. UL. Anacona, I would not trust them at all. UL Nicole is a in contempt non-complier lifer. Affairty, of course not. It's obvious they are working together. Tiffany, no. Marchand, hell no. I wouldn't trust none of them devils. UL Mar IH. Anacona, I'm watching. UL. Old intertube kicked to the curb. Anacona, my best friend is my mate. I work for him because he provides for me 100%. And you're staying honorable. And because you know what the result is. If anything, if you guys go sideways, you already see the damn battlefield of what happens with divorce. So now people know if you get married and you don't have a contract of some degree, and it has to go back into those fiction courts, it's going to be a war. It's going to be an outright war. And so that's why I told them that you guys have triggered a spiritual war on the city of Edmonton. And I feel no way about naming them. I said, y'all want to see what I'm capable of? Watch. Progeny, offspring, lineage, seed, all those what we're going to use. So I'm going to start using those. And I know Nicole's going to be watching. She'll catch the replay. So when she sees, I was like, yeah, you know what it is. And I can't wait for that judge in state of New York. I know they're bringing up a RICO case against these public officials in Edmonton. They keep fooling around like that, and they're going to find out. U.S. Marshal's going to show up and start putting bracelets on them up here. That's why they don't want this coming out, because they're violating the law of comedy between the U.S. and Canada. One quick thing before we move forward to the next article and finish up with these articles. Where were we at here? Okay, 1778 Articles of Confederation. We're going to go to Article 11. This shows that Canada is already part of the United States. Most Americans don't know it. Certainly most Canadians haven't a damn clue. So if Mr. Ulasi, with his double master's law degree, sees that I know, this is the 1778 Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation were adopted by the Continental Congress on November 15, 1777. This document served as the United States' first constitution. So now, y'all got to start questioning when you say constitutional rights. Okay, well, which one? Are they talking about the one from 1777? Or the the Constitution was what, 1789? Was the Constitution? It was in force from March 1st, 1781. No, 1787 was when the Constitution, because the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with Morocco was 1786. Until 1789, when the present-day Constitution went into effect. So let's go to Article 11. Canada, acceding to this confederation and joining in the measures of the United States, shall be admitted into and entitled to all the advantages of this union. But no other colony shall be admitted into the same unless such admission be agreed to by 9 states. So there's your proof. Canada organically is already part of the United States. So now we'll get into our articles. So all this. Now we're going to get into gunplay. My man, gunplay. Now, he's going to talk about what? Magic. And that's why we have to do this when these public officials are dishonoring. It's time for Hecka. That's this one here. Let's see where I'm there. And he just revealed everything. Let's see here. Smoony, what are you doing down here? You're supposed to be upstairs. I told you play on the keyboard.
Keyboard?
Yeah, the keyboard. Turn the fan on if you're hot. All right, so here's Gunplay. Everybody who remembers Gunplay, the rapper, he did Santeria. And that is how he got off his murder charge on camera. So this is him a few years later. I don't know what the date is. I just saw it a few days ago. So we're going to watch this. He's going to reveal more stuff.
You gave your life to God. You went from Santeria to Jesus.
Yeah, I did.
Do you feel like you sold your soul at one point?
I thought about maybe I did, because I was getting what I wanted. I would make offerings and I was getting everything I wanted. I got the bitch, the cars, the condos, the TV shows, the this, the that, everything was popping. I beat an armed robbery charge on camera. It works.
Is it real? Like,
yeah,
if like
it's as real as this table is, my brother.
When you say sacrifices, like what? Like chickens or like
chickens, anything. They tell you whatever you need done. they'll tell you a specific animal to get for it.
Who tells you?
Your Babalawo.
Would it be like a voodoo priest?
Yeah.
So you go to him like, look, I need to beat this case.
Yeah.
All right, go get a chicken.
I had to go.
This is
get
what you
a
gotta
turtle.
do.
I had to get a turtle. They did the tongue, and they wrapped it in some stuff and did some stuff, and it was like, it's done.
Is it true that the bigger sacrifices you make, the bigger blessings you'll get?
Of course.
It's really like that?
Of course. So why not?
Because I mean, like, look,
whack a human. It's true. People sacrifice people. If you know, you know. You gotta feed them. You know, and if you don't, you got hell to pay.
is Ifa the same as Santeria?
Yes, sir. It's all the same.
And then you hear stories too, man, about like girls, they'll put like blood on your spaghetti and to make you the dude fall. This shit real? Like,
yeah, it's very real, man. They don't know. They don't know. At the end of the day, you have to pay. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it. At the end of the day, you have to pay.
do you think you've had to pay?
I paid that. I watched it. I think if I didn't make the change that I did in my belief system, I think that would have been the end of me. But, you know, my God is always in charge. So he was just watching everything go down. I was at a point where I was betrayed by everything and everybody, and I felt like I was serving two gods. One is a transactional relationship.
Do you think the entertainment industry is demonic?
Yeah, of course. Everything you hear is, you know, the more you get closer to God, the more everything is highlighted.
You start watching it and be like,
It just pops out at you. You know what I mean? You can listen to the music and like, oh God, what the
it's true, like certain songs make you feel certain emotions.
There's a certain group of people that
Programming.
Exactly.
Everything is programming, yeah. Do you think that like to make it to a certain level, like in the industry, you have to do certain things?
Yeah, I believe it's real. I seen what was going on, you know what I mean? Like, you can't hang around certain people until you're at a certain caliber, you know what I mean?
Why? Because they be worried that if you see what they doing, you might expose them. They got to know that you're with it. Yeah. You gave your life.
There it is. You got to do hecka. You got to do magic. Bump all that stuff about, oh, my God, this, that. That's his position, and I honor it. I know for a fact that all the magic on this planet comes from Tamaray. And we learned that through the study of the Mishnah. That's why they don't want us going back to Egypt and learning those spells and the incantations. Because the moment we do that, they know they got a problem. You start dressing like this and go to festivals and events like this, they know you're saying, I know who I am. Nobody can take that away from me. They can't take it away from my children. So you step into this realm, my ancestors can send curses through time and space. I'm telling Edmonton to give them the opportunity to step in privately and stop this with Nicole. But if they don't, them, the children, the great-grandchildren, all of them carry this. So I'm telling them, don't do this. Stop it now. People talk that stuff out, bump him until that $30 million hit, until that child gets born, stillborn, or born with spina bifida, when the child can't breathe, can't see, come out the womb blind, the mother has multiple miscarriages. I'm telling you all, this all stems from Nicole. But if y'all don't want to get her, like I told Sergeant Todd, he ain't no fool. That's why he kept quiet. Whoever is the demon worshiper in the Edmonton police system, the Edmonton Public School Board, the Alberta Teachers Professional Committee, you know they're having a meeting like, what the fuck are we going to do? You know what y'all got to do. Sacrifice Nicole. That's what you got to do. Don't do that. That, all the water that Edmonton's been getting, and some Autochtons that were seeing all this water, they're like, man, it just keeps coming. I said, yes, that's the ritual that we did August 12th. We got 6 days to put on the fact that my children were kidnapped by Nicole, Tamara, Nicholas on August 7th. let's see, what's that date? I think that's a Friday, August 7th. Yep, it's a Friday. Oh yeah, Friday, August 7th. And then the following, is it Wednesday? Yeah, the following Wednesday is when we did the ritual. So this will be a year next Wednesday, and next Wednesday is the solar eclipse. So aside, if you're not in Atsukata, if you're not on the webinar, if I'm not training you, you want to get in touch with me because we're going to be doing a solar ritual on that Wednesday. That's going to be a solar eclipse day. We're going to be doing a ritual, and there'll be some preparation you may want to take. So get in touch with me and I will let you know what we're going to be doing. So much appreciated the gunplay. So he's telling you magic is real and it works. Let's see. So that was magic. And let me see here. Now, this is the next thing pertaining to what witches, Satanists, Wiccans do. Listen, watch this.
Watch this.
Bro, I got a crazy story for you. But we have a friend was traveling somewhere on an airplane. She sat by this woman. This woman's not eating. Yeah. So she was asking, like, are you fasting? And the woman was like, yeah, I'm fasting. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, that's wild. Like, are you a believer? And she was like, no. And she was like, why are you fasting then? She says, I'm a witch. And then she was like, yeah, I'm on my way to like a convention. We're all fasting in anticipation for this convention so that we can get spiritual power to curse pastors' kids.
What?
That is what this witch told her on the airplane. Fasting so we can get power in the spirit to curse pastors' children.
Interesting.
And I just think, man, Beth and I heard that story. I'm going to cry right now. How sad is it that witches and warlocks are out consecrating us, but they're consecrated unto Satan. They're willing to push the plate aside. They're willing to abstain. They're willing to not just push porn aside. They're willing to push pancakes aside.
Yeah.
And say, no, I'm going to not do this so I can get power in the spirit, so I can do this nefarious evil thing and try to perpetuate the plans of darkness. But the church is over here fat, out of shape, won't do anything, won't pray, won't fast. And Beth and I heard that and we made a decision. We are going in to an extended season prayer and fasting. We can't hear that and like be like, oh, dang it. Like, we've got to do something.
Jesus said, when you fast, when you pray, when you give. And yet the church wants to spend more time arguing about whether you need to fast, whether you need to tithe, whether you need to give, whether you need to pray every day. Fasting with prayer revolutionized me and my husband's life. The miracles that we have seen, the authority and the power that has come from God that we can now allow to flow through us, where before we were so consumed with natural things and the things of this body instead of being able to hear clearly from the voice of God. I encourage you, if you have never taken an extended time of fasting, do it. If you need to do just 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., do it. If you need to do 3 full days, do it. Listen to the leading of the Holy Spirit and obey Him. I promise you, your life will not stay the same.
So now we start doing that, and we know different types of fasting that we can do. I heard that. I said, oh, it's over now. It's done. Edmonton finished. Oh, I just got to, I fasted. And just to let everybody know, when we did that ritual, I had not eaten for 4 days. All I had was pineapple juice. Everybody who was with me remembers, I said, people were concerned. They wanted me to eat. I said, man, I'm not feeling hungry. I just got charged up. So that was the power, as they say there, of the spirit coming in for what happened, to the point where I wasn't even hungry, staying up 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. for 4 days, drinking nothing but pineapple juice. That's why that ritual works. So Edmonton, know you done fucked up. Somebody got to tell them. I'll tell them you fucked up. Why you think Nicole's quiet? Notice yesterday when I picked the children up, she ain't blocked the VIN. Because people are saying, why would you block the VIN number? And then I got caught her on camera going across the street to take it off. So people know she's hiding something. So yes, she's a criminal. And these public officials are protecting her. 4 days. I did not eat for 4 days, and we did that ritual. The Edmonton, Alberta, and Canada is fucked. Point blank. And now that CERN closed the portal, that all those portals, what we opened up went into whatever dimension CERN was in, whatever timelines it was a bridge to. Now that that's closed, that realm may have realized what they did here and said, nope, we're cutting it off. And the entity told them, shut this thing down. They make me, when they do stuff, you got to look at it. Oh, they probably shut it down for what? The ritual we did caused something in a different timeline to manifest, and they were able to track it back to this plane. And the ritual we did, they said, close this door, while they figure out how to deal with those other timelines. That's why I can't wait for that next Doctor Strange movie to come out. That's going to be hard. I know that movie's going to be hard. Maku, Guadalupe's question. Maku, the Bible, when speaking about their progeny, they say begotten or begot. Who said foot coming out of their jaw? Where is it there? Yeah, foot coming out their jaw. Oh yeah, they're gonna get all that grotesque stuff, and I can say that. So let's go. Progeny. No, it wasn't progeny. It was offspring. Guadalupe just said it. Let me go back to the. I'm just gonna go back to the chat and pull up that word, begotten. Let's see. So hold on. I got to share the screen so everybody can see. See, witches are fasting. Why isn't the church? Because it's not real. It's a business. They are a 501c3 underneath the Internal Revenue Service, and they're collecting free funds. That's why. They're telling their followers to do all sorts of stupid stuff, but I can't get mad at the priests, the deacons, the bishops, because the people are stupid enough to do it here and in Africa. So, hey, they deserve to get treated and walked on and eat grass when the pastor tells them to eat grass like a cow and walk on all fours. They deserve that. What was it I was looking for? Lineage, begotten. Procreated, past participle of beget. Beget, Middle English, begetten, from the Old English, begetten, begetten. Begetten, begotten, begotten. To get by effort, find, acquire, attain, seize. The sense of to procreate is from 12th century. So that took 400 years for that to change. All right, so let's get to the rest of our articles. We got some good articles. So the gunplay one, that's the one I had for y'all. Y'all had to see that. Now, another reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, the Neanderthal, this is them. 0.5% of so-called Caucasians, look at it right here, are born with a vestigial tail that's higher than other racial group. 90% of Caucasians also carries the rhesus monkey factor. And Caucasians are not African albinos. Their white skin is the result of Neanderthal DNA. This is by Franklin Jones. So there you go. The dog. This one's coming out of Canada. Again, I told you the sex traffickers need the police, they need the courts, they need the judges, they need child protective services. That's the only way they can move these children around without nobody questioning it. The Satanists, the Luciferians, the devil worshippers are in these code enforcers. That's how they're able to get it done. They're not outside, they're within.
In our country.
Investigation in the service's history.
Several people have been arrested and dozens of charges have been laid as part of Project Troubadour.
Well, Nathan, investigators are telling us this was a 10-month-long investigation, and as you mentioned, it did lead to the arrests of 9 people, more than 85 charges. Now, at the news conference today, we did see some photos of the accused in this case. They also showed us some of the property that was seized in this investigation, including some cars and jewelry. Now, the police are also saying that this was brought to their attention when one of the victims came forward to police. This broke open the case.
Thank God.
They're saying there could be as many as 12 victims, but there may be more that they don't know about. And that's one of the reasons they are holding this news conference today, to talk about the situation. Now, the victims here were either assaulted or being used as sex workers, and in many cases they had very little control of their lives.
It's important to understand that
This is crazy. Listen.
commercial sexual exploitation happens across the country.
Everywhere.
In a majority of our communities.
In the majority
It's
of our
important
communities.
to talk to your kids and your loved ones and make sure that they understand the risks that are out there.
This blows my mind. A police officer essentially is telling us this is happening everywhere in the majority of our communities. Just talk to your children to be aware. We have lost the plot in this country. These people, these monsters, should be put in jail for life. And I don't mean 25 years in jail and eligible for parole. Make it literally jail for life. Send them to El Salvador. And I promise you, I swear, I would bet everything that I have, all of this would stop immediately. No one would ever take the risk to traffic our children and to sexually abuse them as sex slaves. And that's exactly what is happening. We allow it. I ask anyone that disagrees with this, what if it was your daughter? What if it was your mother that was trafficked for sex? What would you say then? Would you think that what's happening is acceptable? No. I don't understand why our government doesn't take a hard stance on these monsters, on heinous crimes that we wouldn't wish on our worst enemies. Oh my God, it's absolutely disgusting. It's just happening everywhere in our communities, guys. Just talk to your kids, something to be aware of. We are letting this happen in our country.
Investigation in the service's history.
Several people have been arrested and dozens of charges have been laid as part of Project Troubadour.
Well, Nathan, investigators are telling us this was a 10-month-long investigation, and as you mentioned, it did lead to the arrests of 9 people, more than 85 charges. Now, at the news conference today, we did see some photos of the accused in this case. They also showed us some of the property that was seized in this investigation, including some cars.
And what do you see? Black devils. Let's see. Oh, this is very interesting. I still have to do it.
The plastic case on your phone is not protecting your phone. It is exposing your fear. And I'm not joking. Take it off now. Every single time your hand reaches for the most powerful object you own, it does not touch the future. It touches plastic. A small layer of fear you bought just in case it falls, just in case it breaks, just in case you cannot afford to replace it. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but most people do not build their lives out of courage. They build their lives out of just in case. A safe job, just in case. A small dream, just in case. A mediocre partner, just in case, of course. A business that never grows, just in case. And then they wonder why their life feels protected, but not alive. Steve Jobs did not walk on stage and say, "Here is the future. Please hide it under cheap rubber." He sold you beauty, courage, a piece of the future in your hand. And, excuse me, what did we do? We wrapped the future in fear. I used to do the same. Screen protector, backup case, backup charger, backup plan for every small disaster. Then one day I realized something brutal. I was running businesses worth millions while protecting a phone like it was my last possessions on earth. The phone was never the problem. The fear was. Because the same fear that protects your phone also protects your fucking ego, your career, your business, your life. It keeps everything safe, and nothing extraordinary. So take the fucking case off, not because you want to destroy your phone, but because you want to touch reality again. The plastic case.
Butterfly effect. I haven't done it yet. Have now. Just gonna take my micro this is to protect. There we go. That's Mooney. So I took it off now. So this is my case protector. I'm gonna throw it in the garbage. So now I'm touching reality. Simple thing that he said, you're touching reality. So now we're going to see what happens. So I challenge all the toxins to do the same. I do have a protector. It just fell off. This is just for the EMF. So I have this here, and I have the round part. I don't know where that went. Okay, so that I've got it off. It's some here on the floor. I'll get it later. Let's get back. So that's it. No more plastic protector. Let's see what happens now. This guy owns a chain of businesses in Europe. Very, got some bad videos, meaning good. Next one. Let me see here. Let's skip over to here. All right. So now, as it relates to us doing the ritual, this is what happened to the Schumann resonance. So July 29th, courtesy of Netanyahu and Telos Gold, Earth's frequency rocked by a powerful unknown force. Earth's frequency suddenly erupted into more than 4 consecutive hours of full whiteout conditions, with the chart remaining pinned at its maximum before finally fading back down. Whatever drove the prolonged event, it wasn't a quick burst. The source behind it remains unexplained. But one thing is clear. This wasn't your typical whiteout. Did anyone else notice anything unusual overnight or this morning? All right, so when we did the ritual a year ago, the whiteout came just like this, and they said it was relentless. We've sent information, and this one is worse. Look at this. Between this picture and this one is 20 hours. Like, this is crazy. So when we do stuff, don't let them think we have no connection to the spiritual realm or to natural world. Yes, the universe, we're connected to the universe. Let's see here. Yeah, so let's go this one. This is this guy being arrested while trying to pick up my child under a valid court-ordered possession and access order. How does a parent get arrested for following the very court order that says they have the right and legal obligation to exercise possession of their child? My criminal trespass case was eventually dismissed. Afterward, the Harris County District Attorney's Office offered me, quote, better choices class. Respectfully, I'll pass. Child trafficking ring. This is what they're doing. They're trafficking children through fraudulent financial instruments, through physical trafficking, child protective services, putting them in foster care. It's all that. They're all connected. This is what another thing that they're feeding off of. This also connects to organ harvesting, illegal organs. So let me go here. I'm just going back to the other articles. There we go. Okay, this is the one on the now check this. This is pertaining to cancer. What they knew. Look. Where's the volume here? Hold on. I think I gotta switch my browser. Yeah, I gotta switch my browser. Hold on a second, everyone. Copy link, and let me go to my other browser.
Oh, it's funny.
Hold on a second, everyone. I'm just switching over here. Okay, so I gotta use a different browser to get into my x.com on the computer. Okay. This because I can't turn the volume up, so y'all won't be able to hear it. Oh, let me make sure y'all can see my page. Yeah, see? All right, so it's coming up now here. So for those of you that came on, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you have comments, comments are always welcome. If you're on the Facebook live stream, put your questions and comments in the chat as well. See, this is a good one. That's why you know it's taken so. All right, while they're stalling, let's move on to the next video, and we'll come back to that. Okay, this is dealing with Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, this is see, this is another one. I gotta put this on my other browser. It's not playing. Yeah, it won't play at all. Yep, still loading unnecessarily. Move on to the next one. And that's pertaining to Wendy Williams leaking a tape showing Ellen DeGeneres feasting on a black child meat. That's that book, The Delectable Negro. And then I found out what a lot of the European or English Egyptologists would do is they wanted the sarcophaguses of the ancient pharaohs so they could eat whatever is left or add the bacteria to something they were eat so they could get that power back from our ancestors. You see, like you got to look, you can call it barbaric, but in another sense, what are they seeking? Power. Our ancestors are gone and they want the body to be able to get that energy, that sustenance, that sechem, that carbon. Typical. Oh yeah, we're doing it. Why this is having such a delay? We're at here. This one here, Facebook. See what's gonna come up here because these are no good. They're not playing. They're playing, but I can't get. As you can see, I can't get the volume adjusted on here. Like I can't click on the volume for the video to play. So yeah, none of them. So I have to wait for my other browser to let them load. Sit there. See, now it's not available. Telling you, man, we doing it. Now this story is from a justice in Canada. Black woman again. Black woman strikes again. See, what we have to look at is when you look at the system as a corporation and a plantation, who is closest to the slave master? The black woman. And since the lead attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, talked about the fact that attorneys are having sex and coitus with each other, it's no surprise why these women feel they could do what they want. Why? How are they doing it? They bent over, or like this is what Nicole said, or somebody bent them over, or they had to bend somebody over. An Alberta man accused of sexual assault has been cleared by Justice Ayla Akungur. Approximately, can I zoom in on this? No, I can't. I have to save as and zoom in because I want everybody to take a good look. And this way I could zoom in on it. And Justin Trudeau is the one that appointed her. See, as soon as I want to go screen sharing, it stopped my screen share. This is too funny. Let's go already. Oh yeah, we got a lot of people. I anticipate we'll probably have about another 2,000. We didn't really start too late. Okay, here we go. So now this one popped up.
Oh, I've seen that.
Okay, this is pertaining to the cure for cancer, which the medical profession has known since the 30s, according to this guy here. I think he's a doctor. Since the 30s. Okay, there we go. So everybody should.
Caldwell, I've seen a couple of your videos in the past, and one of them I thought was interesting that you said every cancer can be cured in 2 to 6 weeks. Can you talk a little bit more about that, and what are some of the ways that that's possible?
Now they're blocking me from showing the face. I have to refresh the whole thing. Here we go. Let's see how long this is going to take to load. See, the longer this takes, the more I know they're watching what I'm doing.
Dr. Caldwell, I've seen a couple of your videos in the past, and one of them I thought was interesting that you said every cancer can be cured in 2 to 6 weeks. Can you talk a little bit more about that, and what are some of the ways that that's possible?
In my experience, every cancer can be cured in 2 to 16 weeks. Some cancers can be cured in minutes because every doctor in the world that's in office for 20 years or longer knows cases of spontaneous healing. There's even a book out called Spontaneous Healing by a guy I really don't like, and just stating that there are cases of spontaneous healing. That means if it's possible, we just have to find a way to access this. That's number one. So we all know about this. It also happened very often when people go to Lourdes or to these religious places, and it's not really the place that cures them, it's the expectation and the way to that place that cures them. The second, you get rid of acidosis and toxemia. The second, the body gets alkaline and oxygen rich. With juicing a lot of greens like chlorophylls, everything that's green has a lot of chlorophyll, gives the body a lot of oxygen. Getting your body alkaline with good calcium, with good nutrition, with good trace supplements, trace minerals, will help to alkalize the body. So that means the second you are alkaline, the cancer already stops. It can take a couple of days, a couple of weeks, but it stops. You get the body to a healing pH level, which the pH scale goes from 0 to 14, so 7 is neutral, and you need to be slightly alkaline. 7.36 is ideal. But in the healing phase, you should go up to 7.5. It's a little bit over-alkalizing the system. A great friend of mine, Dr. Martin in Germany, is using oxygen more step therapy, for example, where you take the blood out, they get ionized oxygen, and to lead the blood back in. And you do this 12 times, and you have basically brand new blood, like a newborn baby. So you already eliminated the lack of oxygen. You see the blood coming out looks like black. They put the oxygen in, and it becomes pink. And it's like legal doping. You get it, and you feel so energized, and you're so vital. And there are, we know basically with what I used, what my MDs in Europe used, is vitamin C injections, intravenous vitamin C injections, 100 cc's a day, 3 times a week. That's what we used in certain cases more often. And very often, believe it or not, in my personal experience, the tumors or the cancerous growth was basically gone within a couple of days. And because vitamin C is so powerful and one of the greatest healers out there, you can fix nearly every heart problem, cardiovascular problem with vitamin C. They want to take it off the market. So it's going to become a prescription medication, and then it's synthetic and will not work anymore, like vitamin E. Vitamin E basically helps you to cure very easy and fast blood pressure problems in any way, shape, or form. That's why they made a study with artificially created vitamin E, chemical created vitamin E, said, see, it doesn't work. No, of course not. Chemicals don't work. Nature works. Mm-hmm. If nature creates a problem, nature creates a solution. Very simple and easy. If it didn't exist 100 years ago, you don't need it today. It's very, very simple. And when you want to help somebody to educate themselves, to eliminate his or her own cancer really, really fast, I would basically start instantly with a vegan diet or with a raw food diet. My friend Paul Nissan is one of the greatest raw food chefs. He has fantastic books out there about raw food, so it's accessible for a couple of bucks how to do it. He has free videos all over his website. And I would go instantly on a raw food diet. I would go make sure, if I don't have a very rare kidney disease, to drink a gallon of water a day with half a teaspoon of sea salt in it a day, because we need salt for every body function. We need electricity. And this electricity can only be produced with enough salt, basically. So if you have a lack of salt, you have a blood pressure problem.
See, and we're not supposed to have salt, though, too, especially if we have high blood pressure. That's what we're told.
Okay, it's the opposite. The problem is they are talking about table salt. Very often table salt is 1/3 glass, 1/3 sand, and 1/3 salt. So the glass or the sand is scratching the arteries, and they start to bleed. So now cholesterol goes there to stop it from, to make you survive, to stop it from bleeding, so that you don't bleed to death internally. So now they say the cholesterol all of a sudden is a cause of the high blood pressure because it narrows the bloodways. And that's completely absurd, because you die of not enough cholesterol. You do not die of too much. There are people with a cholesterol of 600, perfectly healthy, never been sick in their lifetime. So what do you do with a patient in a burn unit? You give them 20 to 25 hard-boiled eggs a day, because they know only cholesterol can rebuild brand new healthy cells really, really fast. Nearly 87% of a cell is built from cholesterol. So where does the new cell potential or foundation come from if you have a lack of cholesterol? Everybody should have at least 250 combined cholesterol. and then they tell you LDL and HDL are good and bad cholesterols. It's not even cholesterol. It's a protein that transports cholesterol. So they are too stupid to even narrow it down the right way. So if you look at the facts and if you look what they know and what they don't know, you know that Dr. Gary Null stated it, and a lot of other people. The medical profession, the medical doctor statistically has the shortest lifespan of 56 years of age, the highest abuse rate of alcohol and drugs, the highest suicide rate, only the psychiatrist is higher. And so you go to somebody that has the lowest lifespan, highest suicide rate, highest drug abuse rate, to ask them how to have a healthy, happy, long life. I think we should rethink our way of thinking.
Now we see why I was having a delay in playing this video for you all. See, physicians, heal thyself. Next article, fabulous one.
It's official. Wendy Williams has declared war on Ellen DeGeneres. She says Ellen is a psychopathic Satanist who eats children. And she's dropping video footage to back it up. Real verified 4K footage that will stand up in a court of law and send Ellen away for the rest of her life. Ellen can run, she can hide, she can try to resurrect her career. But Wendy is coming for her. And she won't rest until every single person on this planet knows Ellen DeGeneres for what she really is. Here's what we know. Wendy interviewed Anne Heche before she died. And in that interview, Anne gave Wendy the scoop of the century. Recorded proof that Ellen DeGeneres is Hollywood's most prolific cannibal. And there was more. Anne revealed graphic details of Ellen's crimes, including her trips to East LA to prey on vulnerable black children. Months later, Anne was dead. Wendy watched it happen on live TV and something clicked. She knew without a shadow of doubt that Anne was publicly executed. The same way Chester Bennington didn't kill himself. The same way Avicii, Chris Cornell, Anthony Bourdain and countless others were silenced. Then the Epstein files dropped, and Wendy snapped. Not broke, snapped. She joined the team behind Children of the Machine, the documentary Anne Heche died making. And we can exclusively reveal Wendy Williams is now an executive producer. And her first act? Releasing Anne's most shocking content. Archival footage of Ellen eating human flesh. Wendy's investigative work isn't just dangerous, it's nuclear. This is why the industry tried to destroy Wendy, cancelled her, silenced her, locked her away and gaslit the world into believing she'd lost her mind. But they made a fatal mistake. They underestimated her. They didn't finish the job. Now she's back, sharper, more dangerous, and she's got every single one of them in her sights. This is not a conspiracy. This is a reckoning. And tonight we're playing the tape. Wendy says she doesn't know if this is even legal. Neither do we. But she says that it's in the public interest. And we couldn't agree more. That's why subscribers get the full uncut story tonight, ahead of everybody else. Exclusive screenings, behind the scenes access, the evidence they're killing people to keep buried. Subscribe now. To watch this video in full, please subscribe to me on X. Visit x.com/TPVSean and click on the subscribe button. For only $5 a month, you'll get to see exclusive videos only available to subscribers that deep dive into topics too controversial for the masses. I follow back all subscribers and regularly interact with all of you. Your subscription also really helps to keep me doing what I do.
Told you. A lot of these Hollywood people, they're all in on this stuff. That's the key to their success. Their talent, their ability is secondary. Secondary. Anakona, Maku, can you forward this cancer video? I would like to forward this information. Of course I shall. Let me go back here. Oh, that was here. Oh, that's this one. All right, so I'm going to put this in the chat on Facebook and on Zoom. So it's on Zoom now. for the cancer, and it's next is going to be on Facebook. So those that's on Facebook, check the chat. Obana says Calvin Fiend. Seed says UL. Obana exactly after we spoke on this. Obana, how they are born. UL Satanists are way more disciplined than the masses. Yes. UL Tua. I witnessed Tua fasting. The gene decoding. So that's in there now in the chat on Zoom. And the next article. So we got that one. We got that one. Let's see. Okay, let's go into. Okay, so we got the sex trafficking ring. We got that. All right, so we're gonna go to this next article. Yeah, let's start. Let's do the Canadian scientist, and then we'll go into computer intelligence. It's Wendy Williams. We don't want that one. Okay, there it is. That one.
You're telling me a Canadian inventor accidentally discovered a way to levitate metal and the military showed up and confiscated everything?
John Hutchison, Vancouver, 1979, running Tesla coil experiments when metal objects started doing impossible things, levitating, merging into each other, combusting. He had no idea what combination had caused it, but he filmed all of it. The effect only appeared when electromagnetic fields overlapped accidentally and could never be recreated on purpose. Metal rods floating, steel fusing with wood, objects launching across the room with nothing touching them, happening repeatedly in a Vancouver apartment. Then the US military and Canadian government showed up together, confiscated every piece of equipment, every document, every recording, national security, they said. He spent decades trying to recreate it and never managed it.
So whatever he found stays buried.
Fragments of original footage still exist, buddy. This is fiction, for my safety. But go look up the Hutchison effect. The military confiscation is completely documented.
That's why they don't want people getting out of this three-dimensional prison. Now, this is the perfect bridge into an AI scientist warns politicians we won't control AI. I told him that back in 2003 at the UN Human Rights Council.
Minutes. My name is Samuel Buteau. I have over a decade of technical experience in AI. We submitted evidence to this committee outlining how the development of superintelligent AI represents a clear and grave national security threat to Canada. That threat has become harder to miss. In April, Anthropic announced their new, most advanced model, Mythos. Anthropic found that Mythos was able to gain unauthorized access to every major operating system and web browser autonomously and outside of human control. In their own words, the fallout for economies, public safety, and national security could be severe. Nobody programmed Mythos to be the world's most capable hacker because nobody programmed Mythos. AI systems are grown, not built, and nobody understands how they work. Anthropic's own CEO estimated that perhaps we understand 3% of how they work. As AI development becomes automated, the ability for humans to understand AI systems and their capabilities will diminish even further, whilst the speed of development rapidly accelerates. We are currently on the path to developing systems that we do not understand and that are vastly more competent than humans in every domain. Experts see that superintelligent AI may arrive in 2 to 5 years. We will not be able to control these systems. Mythos already threatens our national security, but we can manage it. It is clear that whatever comes in the future will not be manageable.
All right, so now what's the remedy? Here is the remedy. All these people who are talking tech, what's her name? Joy Buolamwene. And who's the next one? MIT, Temjit Gibru, Terrence Deshaun Howard, include him, Billy Carson. These guys ain't got no remedy. They ain't got no solution. What's the solution to the problem? Get white and start calling yourself white. Now, here is the current computer programming error. This also connects to the beginning of why we say I'm white. This is the error. Let me just make sure everyone can see this. Great, and let me get my pointer. So what you see here is white, hashtag 6Fs. And black is associated with the color pale. Black is associated with darkness, which is not true because black means pale in Old English. And the hexadecimal code is hashtag 6 zeros. Decimal code red, green, and blue is 0, 0, and 0. For white, it's associated with paleness and hashtag 6Fs, which will give you 255, 255, 255. And that's 12, 12, and 12, which is 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 36 under the Bible spiritual numbers is enemy. 36 is enemy. So right here, currently this says what? Enemy. According to the Bible spiritual numbers. Now 0 or the naught the 0 Bible spiritual. Zero means what spiritually? The number 0 represents the primordial void, infinite potential, and the divine source. It is seen as the circle of eternity containing both nothingness and everything, and acts as an amplifier for spiritual growth. There's a general consensus on core that 0 symbolizes absolute silence, unity, and ultimate reality. So 0 is the void and potential, the divine source, wholeness, and eternity. Angel number 0, meaning and symbolism in numerology. 0 is an infinite loop of possibilities. Number 0 is related to eternity, oneness, potential, infinity, wholeness, cycles and flow, listening to your intuition, and the beginning of a spiritual journey. So when we go back and look at my pale supremacy definition, this shows you black, which is incorrect. Whoa. Spiritual journey. Pardon me, I'm using the mouse to draw this. So when you look at this, how can black, which has no standing at law, have a spiritual journey? Impossible. And this is what? The enemy. So when we syntax this and correct this, white, the word white, dark, and carbon have to be connected to this, which is hashtag 6Fs, which is correct, which gives you 36 enemy, which equals enemy of what? Black, pale, spiritual journey. Because pale is what? Recessiveness. So that means they're what? At what? Starting point. Is everybody getting that? So these Amorites are Neanderthals. So at that, they're at a starting point. They only got 3 degrees from our ancestors. That's all they got.
I almost finished.
Yes. Can you say excuse me? I will let you know when we're done. So this is why you have to say you're white, dark carbon, and it has to be associated with this color. No, go downstairs and go have a. You want to go upstairs and go lay down. We're gonna be done soon. I'll call you when we're ready. Okay?
I think I'm taking a long time.
Yes, that's what it. Good things come to those who wait.
I want to get on.
On the boat. Oh, we'll be getting on the boat, all right. The boat to sleep. To the land of candy canes and sugar plums. Mr. Sandman. Can you say Mr. Sandman? Okay. So this is why this is the remedy. This is the remedy. So if no one is talking about this solution I've tendered to as a remedy, a viable remedy to stop the computer intelligence, because when they say we cannot manage it, it means that the governments of the world cannot control these computer systems anymore. They'll just start hacking people's bank account, hacking Chase. They could throw it someplace because remember, currently money, if it's not in your hand, is really numbers entered on a computer. The computer can hack that, send it someplace, encrypt it. That'll take 1,000 lifetimes for humans to even crack that encryption. That's just off the face. If it does what people are doing now, where they change the encryption every 3 seconds, good luck with that. Or they change the encryption every minute, good luck with that, because now it's a computer doing it. So this should be here in remedy. Let's see, what's his name? Alan Swick. This is the guy from W3C who set the programming protocols for all computers on the planet. What do you mean no messages? This is the biggest set of B. We've seen this how many times? This guy has responded to me. Now you're saying you can't find him. See how they're already starting. This man responded to me. See? Can't trust nothing the computer's saying. Look at this. So I said, attention, W3C architecture and technology, official updated leper mutant supremacy definition PDF. So as you can see here, I sent it to the whole board. He was the only one that responded. I do not find a programming error in your material that is within the scope of W3C to address. So he's essentially saying that the remedy I provided, he's saying he don't see this. Because the computer is going to look at colors. It's going to look at this woman as this African woman as a 0 and the child as a 1. Minimal signal, no signal, low signal, maximum signal, massive signal, high signal. And she's breastfeeding this child. This is the point here I'm saying. She's providing sustenance to this child, but the computer is going to say, how can a woman who has no value, low signal, provide something with a high signal? That's impossible. This equation cannot exist. So that doesn't equal 0 does not equal to 1. So how does it solve this problem? Very much like a chemical reaction. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. She can't provide to this baby. This baby should not even supposed to exist. And she's breastfeeding, providing sustenance. That can't happen. So what we got to do to balance out the equation, like in the Matrix, anyone with that complexion, the computer will start targeting, and it will also target us. This is why I said the computers are going to kill everybody. So I really laugh at Edmonton Law Courts, Edmonton Police Services, CSIS, and all of them when I just played a video saying in the next 2 to 5 years, they're not going to be able to control the computer systems. So it's laughable. It's a joke. Now I've got the remedy. Now the point is whether they are going to be humble enough to accept it. That's the only remedy against the computer. And if they're not going to do that, that's it. They're done. You might as well write what they call humans, or at least the ones who walk on 2 feet, their time is limited if they don't adopt this. And that's why I say you got to get into the magic, because the spiritual realm is going to help us navigate these very volatile waters. Marshawn, Tua, that's why we are in Dr. Sebi's electric food diet. Yep. I wouldn't say we got to stop using that word diet, because the key word is die. Call it healing or remedy or something, food remedy or food solution, but not diet. Let me see what the etymology of diet is. Diet is circle regular food from Old French. What's regular food? Yeah, I just want to delete this, get it out the way. Diet, pittance, fair. That's 12th century from the Old French diete, 13th century from medieval Latin dieta. Parliamentary assembly, also a day's work. Daily food allowance. Food from the Latin dieta, prescribed way of life, from the Greek dieta or dieta, originally way of life, regimen, dwelling. Very interesting. All right, I can accept that. Etymology is pretty much parliamentary assembly. Wow. Live and die with a cross. And so that was the AI. We covered that. Okay, this one now. And because of what we know, this is a very good video here.
Everyone on Earth essentially walking around in a waiting room. Earth itself was the waiting room. And you go through life and you level up and you go through your awakening or not, whatever path you take in life. It's all being tracked and monitored. But as you're needed for a mission outside of Earth, and this is where I think a lot of the secret space program memories come from and other memories, as you're needed for a mission, they will essentially abduct your consciousness or you in the middle of your sleep. In the REM state of your sleep, this is how it's been described by Donald Marshall and many others, who've been involved in these cloning facilities. They abduct your consciousness and they use you for a mission, and you'll be placed in another avatar that's you, and you'll conduct a mission for whatever it is that they need you for. And whenever they're done with you, they put your consciousness back in as if no time had passed, essentially, because time operates different outside of the 3D plane. And they put your consciousness back and you wake up and you just thought you had a crazy dream, or you don't remember anything at all. In fact, they were memory wiping everybody when they put them back from these missions. And I actually knew this was happening and I became very upset about it. It was something I was very vocal about on this station. They didn't like me because of that. I thought it was wrong. It was immoral. I just started realizing how wrong it was. And I was like, people need to know what they're being used for. This is abuse, right? And anyway, the person would wake up and go about their life and be none the wiser to the fact that they had just been used that evening for some sort of mission. But what was happening?
See? So it's a big world out there. So getting into the spiritual principles and knowledge is how you're going to be able to get through this. This is another one pertaining to disclosure.
He also discussed the effect that any disclosure on non-human life could have on both financial markets and on world religions.
As far as religion is concerned, the impact will be unpredictable.
Also discussed the effect that any disclosure on non-human life could have on both financial markets and on world religions.
As far as religion is concerned, the impact will be unpredictable.
So these rabbis, priests, imams have a lot of explaining to do to the public because they know these systems are exactly that. Artificial systems with the purpose to keep people spiritually bound. It's not showing them ways to free themselves. None of that stuff. Not at all. Oh, what happened to my Telegram? Oh, that's why I'm looking for my Telegram. I can't find it. Oh, well, ain't that interesting? How did my Telegram crash? It's hitting too hard today. I just want to make sure I've covered all the main ones, and then we'll say Nefru Shat. For those that came on late, definitely want to use Supplication 23 on a daily basis, as well as Supplication 25 for those that know. If you're not on the webinar, if you're not white, for those who see the replay, you better get in touch with me. Because I'm telling you, you're not going to have no defense against computer intelligence. They already know it's a write-off. Yeah, and the one article that I saw. Okay, there we go.
This is fucked. Check this out.
Everybody stop going to work, stop driving, stop buying gas. It's only going to take a week.
You think
Watch
a week?
how much those gas prices drop. If nobody bought gas for 1 week.
They already listen. They already have the gas. Remember, we took over Venezuela.
Right?
They
this
have
is a con.
They have the gas.
It's all a con. And as long as
money. This is the money play.
Exactly.
This is money play.
That's what I'm saying. You have.
They got enough reserve. They got enough reserve to say to
you have
kill
to
all
do something that indicates a position of power. They can't evict the entire fucking country. So they have to make choices that are going to be in their best interest. If they see everybody stops going to work because they don't want to pay $4 a gallon for gas, first thing they're going to do is lower the gas prices. What do we need to do to get you back to work? Because we need people working and we need people contributing to the economy. We need consumers. My mom keeps telling me, oh, they're about to build concentration camps and put everybody in them. I'm like, that does not sustain a consumer economy. That's illogical. We have to think about how they're thinking. People are like, oh, robots are going to replace our jobs. AI is going to replace. That does not support a consumer economy. They have to provide us the opportunity to make enough money to keep feeding them money. So it's not until we start taking back our opportunities to feed them money that they're going to make changes that are in our best interest.
You own to something.
This is fact. Check this out.
Everybody stop going to work, stop driving, stop.
Overlords, Mage CERN, time travelers from the future, or Anunnaki overlords. Mage CERN shut down. We're in the middle of something called a consciousness shift, and it's very different from what I described and told you about the timeline shift. Apparently, this big machine was creating a whole bunch of parallel timelines. Every time these particles would smash in together at the speed of light, we're creating these micro black holes. And long story short, our reality kept on distorting. So someone stepped in. Who? I'm not sure about that. One thing is for sure, it's not for everyone. This isn't one of those, it's a good vibes, we're all ascending together video. This is for sure. And what I've understood with the past experiences I've had in the last month, I finally got the download and I understood clearly what's happening. The old texts actually say it. That what's happening right now, it goes back to Gnostic teachings and Gnosis. But this wasn't a group project. It was exclusive to who seeked this direct knowledge. It was basically available to the ones who sought it out, who earned it, who sat with it. It's not something to be handed out, and it's not for the crowds, and that's mea culpa where I made the mistake. I thought that everyone was supposed to awaken to truth. No. Very, 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 no. To understand what I'm talking about, you have to understand that the movie The Matrix, the first Matrix, was based on Gnostic teachings. So it's nothing sci-fi, actually. It's very ancient. The Gnostics were explicit about this. Most people will move through the system asleep, running the program, never questioning the architecture around them, right? They just go with it. They go with the flow. Now, if you wake up, it's not an elitist agenda, even though some may want you to think it is. This is simply what the texts describe. It was like a covenant. So here's what happened when the shift starts. When it happens to you, you start seeing clearly, you start recognizing patterns, you start seeing through the illusion, things that you see a girl in a bikini and you're like, what does that mean on TV? When it has a whole different message psychologically behind it. And you also start recognizing people who built these platforms on like the spiritual language, but are selling the distortion, the ego, the outright fabrications of things. And here I was thinking, oh, I gotta help people understand what's true and what's not. No, I'm actually interfering with their karma, with their karmic wheel, with their level of understanding. It's like bringing someone that's in Math C into Math A. No. And when you say something, when you call it out, for the sake of the people still being misled, you get this resistance, right? You don't even get curiosity, which is totally weird. You get met with static. That static has a name. In the system, they're the NPCs, the ones running the default program, the ones that are reacting in the loop, the ones that get triggered by something they don't even understand. They're not questioning why they're getting mad. They're just reacting to it. Agent Smiths from The Matrix, identical. These are the people that are actively deployed to protect this Archon structure. They swarm the signal to make the truth look like something, no, it's impossible. No, nobody looks at what you're actually saying. They're just feeling the system that's like programming them to react. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. You'll see people bluntly lie. And you'll see people that are like following with like, oh yes, hallelujah, the worship gene, right? So if you're realizing all of these things all recently, you're not wrong. You're evolving. And historically, we've always seen that people that bring the new ideas, the truth, are always met with resistance. The system doesn't send agents after things that don't threaten it. So right now, we are threatening the system. So we weren't promised comfort for waking up. That's an illusion, you know, the toxic positivity. We were promised clarity, and we're getting it. These are both two different things. The shift is real, but it's not going to happen to everyone, and not everyone is included. Not because the truth is exclusive, but because most people aren't looking for it, and it's not their time. They're in a different stage. So if you're resonating with the truths and what I say, that means you're already a step ahead because you understand it. So say it loud, and stay accurate. Let the noise be noise. They are noise. They are the static in our system. Because I see a lot of people that are like, we shifted timelines because CERN shut down. That's a theory. It doesn't mean that that's what's happening. What I feel is happening is that someone made them, and they're covering it under the guise of, we need to do some upkeep until 2030. Why 2030? 2030 is the key to understanding what's happening now. Now see, I remote viewed it, and I see a contract. I see something that's measuring time. Then I see something that looks like a Stargate, but it's all black, and usually it's not. It looks like running water, and things are moving around. So this was a forced shutdown. Now they're going to call it maintenance, and that's fine. That's for the masses. That's for the NPCs. We're good. It's fine. Don't listen to the noise. What we need to figure out is who done it. Recently, I had this person go, you say a lot of shit. You're 3 timelines behind me, bruh. You don't even understand what reality I'm in. So yeah, for you, what I'm saying doesn't make sense, and that totally makes sense to me.
Problem. No, a lot of talk. Where's the Gnostic scripture? Where's the book? That's why I was watching this, but this is just to show you these statements people make have some validity, but notice how they start off one way and then go off in a different direction. Where is the scripture? Or they'll mention that, oh, this is what the Gnostics say, but they won't give you the book. What did it actually say? So you'll have to start looking beyond people talking. See, she got the background with hieroglyphs and everything. Where's the document? What did the cuneiform tablets actually say? Or whatever tablet.
It's important for everybody to realize that beginning in 2002, and you heard the date correctly, in 2002, Anthony Fauci, together with Ralph Baric, made a modification of the coronavirus so that it would target human heart and human lung tissue. In 2005, they announced that they had what they called synthetic coronavirus as a, quote, biowarfare enabling technology. I don't know if that sounds like an innocent Sunday school picnic to you, but last time I checked, biowarfare enabling technology is a rather straightforward position. And then the smoking gun, which actually gives us the ability to show that it was an act of domestic terrorism, is actually a grant. And it's a grant that's referenced in the 2016 paper that said that SARS-CoV-2 was, and I quote, poised for human emergence from a model that was jointly developed by the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill and by the Wuhan Institute of Virology using a thing called WIV1, the Wuhan Institute of Virology Virus 1, the grant number U19A 107810, which has Anthony Fauci and Ralph Barrick's fingerprints all over it, began on September 29th, 2009, a full 5 years in advance of the pardon. So when we are told that there is supposedly no way Congress can prosecute Anthony Fauci, that there's no way for the Justice Department to hold him accountable because of a 2014 pardon, it is critical for all of us to listen and share and promote this conversation so that our congressional leaders understand that Anthony Fauci, together with Ralph Barrick, committed acts of domestic terrorism as defined by the statute, for which there is neither pardon nor statute of limitation. It's important for everybody to...
So get into your spirituality. And, let me make it big. Not yet. Ab says bye, we'll say wadu. We don't say bye, we say wadu. Tahum? Is it time for bed? Okay, so what did I tell you about your behavior? What did I tell you about your behavior? What did I tell you about your behavior? Yes, and what did I tell you about your behavior? Kawun nafir. Tahum? All right, everyone. So I'll see you all in 7 days. Here, let me back up here. So now, okay, now say why do everyone say Kashakador?
Shakador.
Okay.
Shakador.
Stop the recording first.
It looks like my boom string.
And like your boom string? Yes, it's dark. Let's see, where's the stop?
Looks like the blue string like this.
Yes, the blue string. Okay, stop the stream. And we're gonna stop the recording. It's in the future.
The future.